Woohoo!
Progress. How you guys doing?
Hey, Phil.
Real good. Real good. How you doing, boys?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I got my hand operated on Friday.
Whoa. What's that story?
I think I told it last week, but I was coming home with groceries, kind of tripped going up the steps, and instead of phase planning, I put my hand out to brace my fall, and I punched the frame on the storm door. So I gave myself a boxer's break that required a screw. So I'm starting to think they just want to use me for training. I don't know if any of these surgeries are necessary. They just want to show somebody younger how to do something.
Yeah.
But the fucked up thing is they give you an arm blocker, and when they do this, they got like this ultrasound, like they're looking for babies and shit. So they got the ultrasound on your shoulder, looking for the fucking nerve, and then they go in there with a fucking needle. They numb it up first, then they go in there with a fucking needle, and the whole time they got my head turned this way, but that's in the direction of the monitor. So I could see this fucking needle going in and going in there and then releasing that shit. And
Mm.
what they didn't, when they say an arm blocker, it means your arm is dead for like 14 hours. And you got to be careful because you can break it, because you can't feel a fucking thing. So you got to be careful how you move and twist it and shit like that because there's no muscle keeping everything, going. And even when you touch it, it feels like jelly you can touch all the way down to the bone. It's weird.
Wow. They
So it's
put you in a
crazy.
sling?
Yeah, I had to have a sling afterwards. But the fucked up thing is once they gave me the shot, you normally think, okay, they gave you the shot right there, it's going to get numb here and then move its way down. Oh, no, it's the opposite. It goes from the fingertips on up. And
Mm.
I'm just like, I wonder if this is taking effect. I can still move my shoulder. I move my shoulder up and my arm went and punched me right in the fucking mouth.
Like we just told you.
So, so the anesthesiologist and nurse were there and they saw it. And they're like, "Ooh, don't do that, dude. Here, keep it on the side. Don't move it anymore. Just leave it alone." So I'm like, yeah, I didn't intend to do that. I didn't give myself a fat lip, but I tasted a little blood. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Did you ask them if you can masturbate with that arm or no?
Dude, you couldn't even lift the fucking arm. That motherfucker was dead. You know?
That's like it's called a corpse stranger.
Yeah, I mean, even when I felt my fingers, it didn't feel like. But the weird thing is, in my head, it felt like I was moving my fingers, but my fingers were not fucking moving.
Okay, so it was full nerve, everything.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
it's
wild.
crazy as shit.
Luckily, there's
Anyway,
no IL for fantasy GMs, so Jeff won't miss any time.
yeah, that's why you saw me with a shitty ass week. No, you saw me with a shitty ass week because my team's getting all beat up. I had Churio go down, and then three guys went day to day. That was Soto and fucking Josh Jong and somebody else.
Young
Churio
might be
went on the
hurt. Oh
IL.
my God, that's a shocker!
Right?
Complete shocker. That guy is like he's an Iron Man.
You're lefty,
Churio
right,
hasn't,
Josh?
he doesn't. Yeah, he hasn't really been hurt, has he? I
No,
don't
never, never. He's played 24 straight games. He's going for Garrick's record.
know.
He's 1% of the way there.
Now you got me wanting to look up his fucking stats from last year.
Yeah, no, he said he kind of was hurt a lot last year. I want to say shoulder, but I might not be right.
I think you're
Um,
right. I
but
can't remember
he's
one
got his
year for the
brother
Knicks
too.
anymore.
I feel like his brother keeps getting hurt too.
Jace. Jace
Up
has
in
got the
Detroit,
cooler name.
up in Detroit.
Detroit.
Mhm.
Hey, he played 148 games last year,
Actually,
Huh.
that's a surprise to me. I thought it was less.
and he's played
Yeah,
106 this year. He's played every game this year.
mixing up our years then. I'm besmirching the good name of Josh Young.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're talking about Josh Young. I'm talking about Jackson Churio.
Oh.
Oh, oh, well,
The
this
fuck?
explains it.
I was gonna say, geez, what am I
No,
thinking of?
Josh Jung, if the wind blows the wrong way, that motherfucker's got a pulled hamstring.
Okay, all right, we're on page now.
Okay.
We can all
I
agree on
thought
that one.
maybe he got past all of his shit. Oh, you know his middle name is Ryan, like Ryan Sandberg.
Hmm.
Joshua Ryan Young.
So he's
Young.
named after
Young.
Sandberg? I mean, I guess so.
Middle name was probably after because I mean there was only one other Ryan in baseball besides Ryan Sandberg, and his dad named him Ryan Sandberg because he liked that baseball player.
Yeah, it's Ryan Stanek. They talked about in the Mets broadcast.
Yep.
His dad was a Cardinals fan, so I thought that was even more impressive. But he just liked Sandberg so much. I mean, to name your son after a guy, that's pretty high praise, I think. I'm sure
Yeah.
I could have
Yeah,
seen Sandberg play and been like, oh, I like Sandberg. I'm not going to name my son after him, but
right.
Yeah, just going back, man. When these guys are going out to the mound, you got all these guys going out to the mound, throwing out the first pitch, and they're all wearing Sandberg jerseys. That told me the writing was on the wall with
Yeah.
him, and everybody kept mentioning it. He all of a sudden he was in the news a lot, and nobody was saying what was going on. So you knew I had a feeling the end was near on that one.
You talking about a year ago or this year?
this
What's
year,
that?
You're talking about this year. Yeah,
yeah,
last
this
year
year's
was
Hall
like
of Fame. They
remission and
mentioned
all
him.
that shit.
I'm just talking like recently, right before he died, because it's like when it came through was last Monday when we were doing this podcast, and I'm like, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
A day before at the Hall of Fame, they mentioned him. The day before he
Uh-huh.
died. So they
Sandberg
knew.
said when he was
Somebody
a
knew.
kid, he'd throw 1,000 baseballs off the front stoop. He'd go out every day and like throw 1,000 baseballs off the front stoop to himself and field them. That was his like training regime as a kid. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I remembered his retirement announcement, and it might have been the first retirement. I think it was, but his wife, who ended up being a bad lady, was wearing this like corn cob dress, and I remembered that actually, but then I just saw a picture of it this past week, so I was like, oh, it was corn cobs, and I was like, that lady had no regard for what it meant to him to be retiring from baseball. She's like wearing this like I said to I think it was Sean. I texted. I was like, she may as well have been wearing like a Hawaiian shirt or something like that. Like you don't have to wear black. It's not a funeral, but like maybe the corn cob dress is not the one to be wearing. But she didn't give a shit, did she?
Well, apparently she was fucking half the team.
Yeah, that's what Sean was talking about.
Yeah, that's the old Palmero rumor, but why they picked him over Grace or
Well,
picked
I heard
Grace over
David
him.
Martinez,
Hmm.
but it could have been Palmero,
Yeah,
which is why they got him the hell out of here.
Sean mentioned two guys,
Right?
Palmero, and I wish I could remember the other one.
Davey Martinez, I heard, was one of them.
That might have been the other one.
He got traded too.
He didn't want to share it with all the Cubs fans because
Well, just as bad as
thought it
that
was
is
too
what
raw.
fucking Zobrist's wife did to him.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. It happened to him too. I think I lumped them together. I forgot it was two different things.
And they're both second basemen, and they're both really fucking nice guys. Do we see a pattern here?
Yeah. Steve Garvey too. He was really nice.
He was a first baseman.
Oh, you're right. Infielder. Plus, he had a lady in every town, but he was a confirmed bachelor, so it's all right.
Yeah, Sean said Palmero and Dave Martinez openly bragged about it.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. What a
Not
teammate.
cool.
bad guys.
Not cool, bro.
Bad lady.
How's Minnesota treating you?
It's good. We're getting the same crappy weather you guys are. It's the dog days. It's hot. It's
Is it
but
still
it's
hot?
nice. We've got a garden. It's going good. I cooked up our first yellow squash of the year.
Nice.
Had some nice weird looking chocolate pepper thing with the salad. nice to have a garden. It's good for the soul. For me,
Yeah.
I had my first tomatoes and mozzarella dinner tonight with basil and olive oil and the vinaigrette and
fresh mozzarella.
pepper. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, from the
Yeah.
store. That's
Well, yeah,
but the tomatoes are from the garden.
yeah. I did make my first cheese this year. I did do that. I've got one cheese. I got to do like five more to meet my cheese goal for the year. I just did a ricotta. Not too hard though. Takes about 2 hours.
I've never had a cheese goal, so this is good. I don't know how
Yeah.
many. I'm not really a goal guy, but I've definitely not had a cheese goal ever. I'm not putting it
I
down.
got split. I just came up with it on New Year's Eve when somebody asked me, and I was like, I want to learn how to make cheese. That's
It's
my
called
resolution.
rigoles.
So,
I just
so I was given a cheese book, and there you go.
when Larkin and I went up to Milwaukee to see that game like last weekend, on the way back we had the Mars Cheese Castle. So I bought like pound of like fresh mozzarella and a pound of fresh smoked mozzarella. And I was making pizzas all week with that. Man, oh man, was that fucking on another level. That's
Yeah.
not your plastic bag fucking shredded cheese from the grocery store, man.
No,
It's even
Mars is
better.
Mars is still legit. It's still legit. It's just smaller batch, It's like a smaller batch, just a smaller, I don't know. They got good cows. What can you say?
I just do it right. It's not so processed.
The only problem I had with the,
Yeah.
the the fresh cheese is like I find the word curd to be very unappetizing. I don't know. It's just not a word that makes me want to eat.
Is that like a little Miss Muffet and the spider thing for you? Do you
Birds
feel
and
that way
whey.
about is whey okay for you, or
I don't know.
is it both? Curds
Curd, I
and
just
whey.
think is just not a good word. I don't know. It does rhyme with word, but
It's short for curdle.
yeah, it's too close to curdle.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how you do it. You add like some lemon juice or vinegar in. This is
Yep.
just to get it to curdle, to separate out the whey. That's step
No
one of
way.
cheese making.
No way.
Yeah, it turns into like a clear, kind of like yellowish clear liquid, and you pour it off.
Yeah, and so that's
They use
exactly
it
when
in
Little
some of the
Miss
places.
Muffet started eating that shit because she had her curds and whey.
On her tuffet.
Yeah,
Just to
just
show that
couldn't wait.
I don't just make bad jokes with you guys. My daughter makes like smoothies, I guess, with whey. And so I took a picture of the empty, it's a pretty giant container. It's like a, round container. It's pretty big, but it was empty. So I took a picture of it and the caption was no way.
Mm. That's
Yeah,
Wow.
nice. I didn't know they
they
sold
liked it just
whey.
about as much as you guys did.
No, that's great. um,
Wah, wah,
I didn't know they
wah,
sold whey. I've
wah.
never seen whey for sale.
No way.
So, right. Setting you up all over again.
It's the joke that
They
just
use it
keeps rolling.
in Wisconsin. Some of the towns use it for the roads in the wintertime. They'll put it like in Waukesha and stuff. They put whey down on the roads in lieu of like salt or sand.
Oh.
Because it'll help to like yeah. You
The
can
stuff,
you can
the
fact
stuff
check me, but it's true.
sprinkle on a shuffleboard, they call it cheese, but it's not cheese, right? I mean,
No, it's like sand, right?
I don't
Like
know.
a fine sand.
I've got some down here, but I've got a
Hmm.
mini shuffleboard.
Hmm.
Hey, Larkin was mentioning maybe we should head up to your way to see a game up at the Twins Park one of these days.
Yeah, at this point, we have a AAA club on both sides of town after they
Yeah.
dealt 10 of their players away at the deadline.
Oh, gee, I know, man. They fucking cleaned house.
Was it 10 or was it 16? 10?
Oh, well, I guess if you're talking about guys on the major league roster
Major League
versus
roster,
minor
yeah.
leaguers.
Maybe it was 10 and leaving them 16, but it's incredible. I can't believe they
Yeah.
did it.
they're dumping
Pretty competitive.
salary number one because they're going to try. They're Poled's selling a team,
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes them
so
more attractive or not. I mean, I think getting out of the Correa contract was fine. That's I understand, but every reliever they gave up is a good reliever. You know, like good luck replacing those guys. I mean, I know that it's a fungible thing, the bullpen, but those guys are especially good. Duran,
They do.
Jax,
They had a
well,
Varley,
maybe
really
they
good
got some
bullpen.
guys coming up that can fill those spots.
Cologne. Did they have Cologne too? Was that them?
Danny
I
Cologne.
think so.
The lefty. I mean, I don't think he's as good this year, but he's been like a very underrated guy. I don't know. Like
Yeah, I looked for a different league to see like, hey, who's left? Like who's the guy to pick up for saves, right? And I'm looking at the war for the relievers, and the top five guys are all traded. Like the number six guy, Cole Sands, he's like the last one man standing. It's crazy. Like everybody was gone. It's just like it's like anybody that got used after the sixth inning was like, oh, we'll get something. They got a good deal though. They got guys for them. I thought they got good returns for their
yeah,
relievers.
I guess I didn't look at that part of it.
Taj Bradley for Griffin Jacks. I mean, he's their eighth inning guy. He's really good, but Taj Bradley's still a solid young arm. He could be a reliever as good as Griffin Jacks. That was kind of crazy. And they
Yeah,
got a stud catcher for Yohan Duran. They got a catcher and a pitcher for him. I don't know. Relievers got a lot this year in the trade market, actually.
I think it was because starters didn't get traded that much. Right? So
A lot of the starters on expiring contracts
those
sucked this year, or
those
they're on good teams
those
already.
teams might have pivoted. Like you want what? Oh, forget. How about for Duran or something? I don't know. So that's just
Mhm. Well, Sandy Alcantara stopped looking very attractive. So when teams started looking at his like 4.9 ERA or whatever he's got,
Yeah,
and he's just
yeah.
he's not Cy Young Sandy. Nope,
he's been
not Cy
better.
Young Sandy.
I mean, I think he's a decent bet because his velocity was always there this year. So we didn't lose that. And then, he started off terrible. And then he really turned it around. And then he kind of slipped back. And now he's turned, so he's had like four different, you know, uh, stints or whatever this year.
Okay,
But
so here is all what the Minnesota Twins did for the trade deadline. July 28th, Randy Dobnik and Chris Paddock to the Detroit Tigers. They received Enrique Jimenez back in return. On the 30th, Joan Duran to the Philadelphia Phillies received Eduardo Tate and Mick Abel. Then okay,
bad,
on
I
the
guess.
31st, trade deadline day, Willie Castro to the Cubs. They received Sam Armstrong and Ryan Gallagher. Carlos Correa and Cash to the Houston Astros. They received Matt Mikulski. Harrison Bader to the Phillies. They got back Henry Mendez and Jeremy Valoria. Danny Colome to the Rangers. And they got Garrett Horn. Griffin Jacks to the Rays. They got Taj Bradley. Brock Stewart to the Dodgers. They got James Outman. And then Ty France and Louis Varland to the Toronto Blue Jays. And they got Kenry Rojas and Alan Roden. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys.
It
Most of those
seems like,
position players were salary dumps for sure.
Yeah,
Correa,
I
I
mean,
get,
obviously Correa for sure.
but it seems
absolutely.
like they could have. So, like, they're much higher on Taj Bradley and Mick Abel than like Chris Paddock, or it seems like they did a lot of like shuffling and some of. I mean, I guess Abel has more upside than maybe those guys, but I don't know.
Well, maybe it's to
Yeah,
get
Abel
Royce
was a
Lewis to
first
play
rounder.
shortstop again, too, because he was kind of playing out of position.
Brooks Lee.
Royce Lewis, or either one.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
either one of those guys is a shortstop.
Yeah, I guess I don't quite get what they're doing, but maybe these guys are great, and I have no idea because I would have no idea. The young guys.
I think it's a smart front office. I just think you guys are right. Like they're clearing money off the books. You know,
Well, they
Yeah.
cleared out the relievers and they brought back starters and they traded starters too. So it's like I guess they have confidence that they can bring up anybody as a reliever, and turn him into a reliever, even if he's a starter, that kind of thing. I don't know, but like I just think like none of those guys were like Ryan Helsley. Helsley is clearly on the downward trend. He's still a decent pitcher, but he's not as good as he was. I don't, you can't say that about Duran and Jack. So those guys are still,
Mhm.
unless that demise
Good.
is coming next year. I mean, and if anybody can bring out a demise of a closer, it'd probably be the Phillies. But
Yeah, except you go back a couple years, starting to look a little bit. It's a little more than that, but it's starting to look a little bit like what the Brewers got all the heat for, trading away all their closers. How are the Brewers doing?
yeah,
They're pretty good on a low budget, you know. Mason
All
Miller
right.
got a lot. He got like a top 5 prospect. So yeah, it's weird. You didn't expect relievers used to be the cheap guy to get, and this year it was like everybody. Maybe they looked at what the Dodgers did last year in the playoffs, and they're like, we could win it with a bullpen on the cheap.
Well, some of the guys they got in return are already very high on their prospect rankings. Like Eduardo Tate is number 4 on their team now. Mick Abel
Mhm.
is number 6. Kenry Rojas is 7. And they've got Walter Jenkins, who is 20 years old, who's in AA right now that they expect to come up next year. They got to make room for.
I didn't know
Emmanuel
he was that young.
Rodriguez,
Jeez, I
they
didn't know
think will
that.
be up this year. He's an outfielder. He's the number 2 prospect. So, I mean, but they also got this guy, Kalen Culpepper, who's a shortstop, and he's 22 years old. He's in AA. They're expecting him next year or the year after. So they've got guys,
Is
you
he
know,
related to Dante?
is that
Is he related to Dante? Because that name's golden up there.
well, here's what I'll do is I'll just share what I'm looking at here.
Oh, pipeline, yeah.
Did you ever get on MILB network or MILB.com?
I
Yeah,
definitely look at it because I think it's the number one go to for people for prospects.
Yeah.
I think it's like the first stop for most people.
Look at this. You got a Kalen Culpepper here who's a shortstop, and you got a CJ Culpepper here who's a pitcher, and they don't look anything alike.
huh?
They love the Dante Culpepper up here, back on the Vikings.
Brothers from a different mother.
Yeah.
And then Kyle DeBarge. I wonder if he's related to DeBarge. He kind of looks
DeBarge.
like him.
Yeah.
Let's see what this guy looks like. Oh, he hits dingers.
Into the dark of the night.
You guys saw that? Let's
Yeah.
open this share when you get screwed up. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Take that.
I wish I could
DeBarge.
think of a DeBarge song. I know the
Look at
artist.
this guy running after
Uh,
that ball. He's
I mean, I
gonna
guess
go eat
Outman
that
is
thing
younger
now.
than Bader, but it seems like why are you going to trade away Bader if you feel the need to bring Outman in or something? I don't know. Like it seems like a lot like they made like 4 moves more than they maybe needed to or something. I don't know. To be in the same position or something. I don't know.
yeah, that's true. I mean, he was a good defensive guy, but he wasn't even full time for them. They still he was like a semi platoon guy,
He was playing a
like an
lot,
85% not every day. He got like 2 days off a week.
but that's par
That's
for the
fine.
course. The Twins, I mean, if you play in a like especially like an AL only league, like the Twins are just so effing
They got
frustrating. Like, no
Rocco
one's no
Baldelli.
one's getting
Is
like
that their
full
guy?
time. Hardly anybody's getting like full time at bat. Sucks.
Hmm.
Obviously Correa did, but
Jeff, you remember any DeBarge songs? DeBarge? I'll give you one from for that clip. Hit the ball to the darkness of the night. Gonna
We
leave it
go
all
dancing through the
behind.
night. Yeah, I remember.
Listen, listen to the rhythm of the night.
is that like 85?
We can leave it all behind. Yeah,
Didn't
yeah,
that guy
right.
die?
Lots of
Probably.
people died.
We all do.
I think DeBarge is dead. Time to Wikipedia.
The dead.
It's his name means in French means the barge.
Yeah.
No, he's not died. There's a lot of
El
misinformation about it,
DeBarge.
but
He's
he is
alive.
not dead.
He's
El DeBarge
alive.
is still alive. One of
Yeah.
these guys died. Bobby DeBarge. Yeah, he died at 95.
Uh,
He gone.
James DeBarge. Nope, he's still living.
Hawk could have
Randy
so
DeBarge.
I'm like a tried and true watcher, but I got lost in the not lost in the sauce, but lost in the vacation, and I haven't got back in my rhythm of watching the beer league podcast. So I have to admit I missed the last couple of weeks traveling and being in and out of town. So sorry I
Well,
didn't know about your
you're
arm
not the
death,
only one.
but
Yeah, I
but
missed the
have
last
I
couple weeks too, and I was on the podcast.
I love it though. It's great. It's great entertainment for me. But what I wanted to ask was the person who's been on the podcast, have they continued that run of like having a good week the week before they're on the
I
podcast?
don't know if I
We
have
had Doug
ever-
on last week. Does that tell you anything?
was it Doug last week? Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah,
went 6-0.
he scored like
Yeah.
500 something points.
Before then was Sean. What
Well,
did Sean do 2 weeks ago?
I
Well,
don't know.
let
But
me
I'll
bring it
say
up.
I didn't do it this week. I pulled in a 2-4. So
Sean broke the tradition and got the 2-4 that week.
Oh,
okay.
No, usually it
I blame
happens
Sean.
after.
Oh,
And then
after.
who do we
Okay.
have the week before that?
Oh.
Was it Chris Larkin?
For a while there, it seemed like the team that was on the
Chris,
podcast had a really good week the week before
well,
they were on the
we
podcast.
had Chris on, and he got damn near 600 points the next week, like
Sean got
598, which is I think is that the most anybody's scored in a week in the beer league?
That's a lot.
Sean went two
I
and
don't
four.
remember ever seeing anybody above 600.
Sean went
No,
2
I
and 4,
don't
but we
either.
didn't have a podcast the All-Star break week. So like Chris's week would have been the short week.
The week before, no, not the short week, because we didn't do one this short week.
That's
We did one the week before, and that's
right.
the week
Okay,
he
yeah.
went.
So before the short week.
Yeah, so that's the week he went almost 600 points.
So 8 and 7. No,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wrong team. Yeah, so he did go 6-0. So this thing is real, man. Sean's the only one that broke it.
Oh, watch out for paging Dr. Satchel this
It
week.
doesn't work.
Yeah, I know.
It
And
doesn't
then
I
work.
here's
also
the thing:
saw.
the two guys that are running this podcast are fucking just steeped in mediocrity.
It doesn't work if you're from Villa Park. That's the thing. It's an asterisk and it's a really fine print. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Villa Park, man. Not really Chicago.
let's see. Satch's IP overage is more reasonable than it was. 70 over.
Ooh,
I think Steiger might pass me soon. He might. He's right nipping at my heels. He's almost got more innings over than I do.
Let's play 76 under. So it's not even weight now. It's let's play that's under. Maybe it didn't happen this week. Usually I have that read if it's a change. And then you can see Spear was the Warriors and Let's Play was the Lucky Laggards. So they were both 3-3 heading into Friday, and Spear ended up 5-1, and Let's Play 1-5. But you can see this, like Bake McBride went 6-0. 3 players of the week. Spear had a couple. They had Trevor Story and Kristen Yelich, and I was like, is this 2018 or 2025? What's going on here? But
Yeah, right. I thought Story was washed up.
what?
I may can have a week though, but
Yeah.
I still Story's
Story's
still a
been-
borderline drop usually. I think.
Story's been doing better.
Yeah.
So predicted top 4.
Phil's got 15 out of Schwarber today.
Dang, I like that.
Now,
Four bombs.
since Kurt's like, 15-point game is like nothing, everybody's like, yeah, well, whatever. Oh, good game, man. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. After the Kurtz bombs. Um, yeah.
Predicted top four is the
I'll
same as the
take it.
standings, I think. Wait, Satch, Zadi, and Cows. So, Phil, I forgot that you're the guy that had Jordan this whole time.
Hmm.
Things could be looking different for you if you had like 41 homers from Jordan right now, and you know
Yeah. I mean, that happens. Everybody's got guys down.
that's a that's a
Guys be
big
dropping.
injury. Like I said,
Yeah,
I wish
you're
I,
yeah. I
I
mean,
was gonna say
he
I wish
probably going on the season was my number one player. I think at this point Schwarber is better, but going into the year, I thought of Jordan as my best player for sure. But
nobody wants to hear my
yeah, it happens.
AL Roto sob stories, but my top players in that league were money wise were Jordan, Devers. I think Bregman was next, but I also had Andrew Vaughn, Bailey Ober, and Logan Gilbert. So
Oh my God, kid, the Lou kiss of death
I'm in
right
ninth
there.
out of 12, and I can't finish any higher than ninth. I think that's about where I'll finish. But, anyways, so the standings
Sometimes that's how the cards go, man. Sorry, go ahead.
Wait, Bizzotti, Satch cows. And the predicted top four is Wait, Satch, Bizzotti cows. But I don't know. That model, I tried to improve it, and that model says that Wait's going to win by 12 games. No, you know, so not that they'll win by 12 games necessarily, but they're really legit. This thing could happen. I mean, I'm not gonna what I don't want to jinx it, but they're really looking good. And of course, nobody's gonna count Satch out. You're only 6 games out, and that's 1 week away from being tied, right? Some extreme
Cataclysmic
weight.
event. It's harder and harder to make up ground at the end of the year though, because guys start doing the football draft and
Yeah.
they forget to set their lineup a little bit more. And if you're paying attention, it's hard to not at least pull 3-3 when you get in those like from here on out. Somehow I did it, but we're not quite there. We get a few more a little bit more football in everyone's brains, and all of a sudden, this league's pretty good. People are good at still setting their lineups, but it's the small little things that'll cost somebody like 5 or 6 points here and there. Um, so I think it's hard to make it up at this point. But Mike said I had him worried. He said he texted me last week, not this week, obviously, but last week he was like, "You got me worried." I was like, "Well, that's all I wanted. As long as I got you nervous, nervous is all I want you to be."
I'll tell you though, when you are at the top, in that you do suffer for it. Like when I'm in ninth, yes, I want to pass Jeff. I want to finish fifth if I can, but if I don't, I'm like, you know. But when you're in first, like man, or you have a chance to win it. Oh my God, it's like torture. Like I don't want to screw it up. I want to do all I can while I have the window. Some of us aren't going to win it 4 years in a row, so
Yeah.
those chances don't come every year. So I feel for him because I remember the year that I did win, that like Saturday and Sunday, I was completely suffering. Like I was picking up players. I was trying to gauge like who would get the most plate appearance. I mean, it was really nuts. Like stuff where in my normal situation at the last Saturday of the year, I'm just going to put my lineup in, whatever, so you do suffer. You do suffer for it. I mean, unless you're up more than 6 games, that last week or something. But
It's great when it comes down to the wire, but I feel like in this league, every Sunday kind of comes down to the wire in some ways. You're going to pick up a game here or there, or you're not. That's why a lot of guys pick up, like, there's like no probable pitchers left on Sundays because people are like, fuck it, I'll go for it. Everyone feels like rolling the dice on Sunday. Guys, you would never start on a Tuesday. On Sunday, you're like, might as well. I'm going to do that last push.
Well, look at this. Look at this roll for like fourth, fifth place. Where Holy Cows. It's between Holy Cows and Lollygaggers is a 9 game difference.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be done.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Oh,
one
for
week
sure.
can change everything. Like you do a 6-0 and somebody above you goes 1-5 or something. It's a big.
Really
Yeah,
depends on what people do by the trade deadline too.
like
I think you can figure like one game a week. And what do we got? 8 weeks left? 8 weeks. So I figure you can realistically, you can be like, I can make up 8 games, but it's hard. It'd be very hard to do. But you could think, but
Well,
once you get to like 3 weeks left, you're not gonna make up 8 games with 3 weeks left.
no.
unless you're the Marlins and the Mets, or I think that what was
Well, in
that?
real baseball, sure,
Not
but
Marlins.
in beer league,
Might have been the Phillies. Mets were
But
playing the Marlins.
I've seen people get hot where they went fucking 18-0 in 3 weeks straight. You know,
mhm.
that could happen. It's rare, but
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not talking about my team, but I have two starters right now. So if Christopher Sanchez and DeGrom don't do well, then I'm really in trouble because I'm basically it's basically middle relievers and those two. That's what I'm hoping for. If I get a lucky week of a lot of holds and stuff, then I'm in the running for a good week. And if not, it ain't happening. So I've been rolling the dice for a couple weeks now.
it's an
Sanchez
interesting strategy.
Sanchez bothers me as almost as much as Eugenio, I guess, because I like Sanchez. And then John had put feelers out to trade him in the offseason. And I was like, yeah, I definitely want Sanchez. And then it happened fast, and you traded for him. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because
Yeah.
like I really liked him, and I was like, damn it. And then well, half the time I'm not gonna be right anyway. And then then it turns out that
The
oh
conversation went like this. I was like, man, you got too many guys to keep because he was in the catbird seat last year, right? He was like the number 15, the fifth place team.
yeah,
So he could poach and he had way too many guys. I'm like, you're gonna get all your guys poached. You should like be making deals for like 2-for-1s and stuff. And I was like, but if you got somebody you're gonna drop or they're on the fence, let me know because I need starters. And when he said Christopher Sanchez, I was a little surprised, but I was like, okay, because
oh man.
he was the third best starter on that team going into the year.
Mhm.
I would put him like he was about the same as Aaron Nola, right? Going into the year. But that's a good rotation. So
I
Yeah.
mean, reputation wise, he could have been fourth, right? He could have been behind Ranger.
that's what I mean. So he's not the best guy in the team. He's not their ace. So he had a good year. I didn't expect him to have this year. He took a step. He's throwing harder this year than he ever has. Just growing into his man body, as they say, nowhere.
They were even debating tonight on MLB Network, like who should start game one if the Phillies are in the playoffs, Wheeler or Sanchez. I think the guy that
No,
said
it's
I think the guy that said
Wheeler.
Sanchez won it's like where they have the judge, the stupid segment they have. But even if you think Sanchez would have more success than Wheeler, you would never do that because you're going to piss Wheeler off, and then you're going to place all this pressure on Sanchez. Oh my God, I gotta prove them right. It's like you would never that would happen 0% of the time.
Right. 0%. It would only happen if like Wheeler was like, I got a little tweak, I got a little like hammy, and like, we want to give him one more day. But like in a 3 game series, or wait, they're not 3 game anymore. The first round's 3 games, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. In a 3 game, I guess in a 3 game, does it really matter? Because you can only pitch each guy one time.
yeah.
So,
But you would never
but
do that. You would have
no.
Wheeler. The question would be like, would you have Sanchez second? I guess you would, but.
Yeah, Nola, man, I don't know. He just still don't know. He's still not pitching. I don't know what his deal is.
Soroka got pulled from this game because of his shoulder already. First start for the Cubs.
Oh, he did,
Injury.
huh?
Yeah, he got
Oh my
pulled in the
God.
third inning.
He's a guy I've been holding on to, like, because he's an underlying, not in this league, but he's an underlying stats are good guy. He's like, doesn't have a lot of walks. He's striking guys out. He kind
Yeah.
of been giving up a few too many dingers, but like, that's the kind of guy you take
Comes
a
from the
bet on, you
Atlanta
know?
system. They put out good pitchers.
Mm-hmm. And he was lights out of the White Sox bullpen last year too. The
Yep.
guy can get guys out. He had a great year. He knows how to do it. If his body agrees with him, he knows how to get major league hitters out, which is like that's a big step to have. That's why people keep trying to get Noah Syndergaard in their his system. They're like, he knows how to do it if his body listens to him. A lot of guys they have that self doubt, so they don't even get that far.
Right.
Even after saying all those nice things about Soroka, I dropped him in one of the mixed leagues I'm in because I was worried that he was going to be a swing man or a long relay. I wasn't sure how they were going to use him.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter now because I was the same thing. I was like, I was gonna drop him, and I dropped somebody else because I was like, I don't know, it's the Cubs. They got the pitching lab. They got a great defense. You know, they don't have a great infield in Washington. That's not a great defensive infield. So that alone is like you get an extra free out every game. Like that can help a pitcher a lot.
Is he definitely hurt?
I have no idea. I don't know. Just Jeff, what you heard any updates or they just pulled him?
Yeah, they just pulled him his shoulder.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was done in the third inning. They're in the seventh now. It's 2-2. Cubs only have two hits. And it was basically Hap got a hit and then Swanson hit a home run behind him. And those are the only two hits they've gotten the whole game.
That game they lost to the Orioles, maybe they would have lost anyway, but it looked bad. Like it looked like a game that maybe they would have won if they'd added like one relief pitcher. Well, I guess they added what, Kitteridge and Taylor
Yeah.
Rogers,
Yeah.
but Kitteridge has had good years, but I don't think he's done well this year, right? Is that
Oh,
him?
no, he was good this year.
No, I think I get him
He
and
was on the Orioles.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He was their big signing other than that oft injured outfielder from the Cardinals, O'Neill, Tyler
Tyler
O'Neill.
O'Neill.
They signed Kitteridge, and people are like, "Whoa, that's a lot of money for a guy not to be your closer." But he fit that role. Like he could do all the stuff in their bullpen the other guys in their bullpen couldn't do. So there's certain kinds of batters that just have a lot of trouble with him. So he's a great guy to have for the playoffs, which the Orioles thought they would be in.
I don't know. It just seems like some of those teams. I understand trading the close relief, leverage reliever, high leverage reliever to teams that need that, and you're out of it. Obviously that makes a ton of sense. But if you're not rebuilding, if you're going to try to contend the very next year, which I think the Orioles are in that boat, and well, hopefully they are, and even the Twins could contend next year. It just seems like okay, but what are you going to do next year?
Trade for bullpen guys at the deadline.
I
If
guess.
your guys are good and healthy, then you trade for bullpen guys at the deadline. If they suck, then you trade your bullpen guys away and play for next year. I don't know. It seems like the new big leagues trade deadline.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think what's the term fungible? I think they just feel like they guys have great years, they have bad years. Their sample size is so small that the guys throw up their arms and like I don't know. He throws hard. He has a good thing. If he's in a rhythm, then that's great. But it's not like a starter when you're out of the pen.
That's pretty much every player. You're in a rhythm.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell if you're in a rhythm when you only pitch 3 times a week.
Right.
Well, and you're like, oh, maybe it's a bad day, and then you're like, oh no, he's getting lit up this time. Now it's like three in a row. You're like, okay, we're gonna send him down to retool. It's
You
harder
got
to tell.
I can understand
they
like it's easy to find relievers that can do an okay job, but like Duran and Jax both, if not
Hmm.
Coulomb this year, but both those guys are high strikeout, low walk guys, and they have good ground ball rates too. I mean, there's just a few pitchers like that.
We have holds in this league. I don't know. I feel like closers are just kind of overrated now. They are better than having a guy that is a setup guy, but I don't know. Now that I'm low on innings, I'm just like, well, I would prefer to have like really good closers, but short of that, I guess I'd rather have a reliever in there every single day of the week because they can get the most points for their inning. I can get 7 points from a guy. So I'll just throw in guys on an off day and just drop the old relievers and just cycle them. At this point, that's not my normal strategy, but when I'm so over on innings that because you asked about that
Yeah.
Jeff earlier, that's what I'm just doing now. I'm just like, well, at this point, I should just try to have a reliever in there. That's like the spot. I used to try to always fill my catcher spot on those days, and that's hard to do. You end up starting some really crappy catchers. I'd rather like try to get that extra free inning, where you could get like a lot of points for like one inning of work.
Yeah,
It's not
no,
a terrible idea, dude. I mean, if you really got to, soften up the innings and stuff like that, I mean, doing what you're doing is it's not a bad move.
Yeah, I felt like it was the only move I could do, or just be like, well,
Well, and stay
you can't catch
competitive.
up and go over on innings. You can't do both. You can be in the lead and go over on innings, but
But
yeah.
those guys can also come into a tie game, all of a sudden fucking get 3 outs, and then fucking the team gets 4 runs and he gets the win.
yeah.
There's so many more wins now out of relievers, especially those high leverage and closers than there used to be with these extra innings.
And not only
It's
would you get the win, you get the hold too, right?
you get one or the other.
I think I looked at it based on last year because I never did it separately before. I think it was something you said, Phil, and I kind of looked at it. But for the average pitcher, average starter, it's around 18 innings per win, which makes sense. The average game is right around, 9 innings and you're going to lose half and win half, and your decisions, whatever. But for relievers, I think it was like 13, between 13 and 14 innings per win. So the relievers definitely are more involved in the decisions per inning pitched.
Yeah, it's partly how they use them. And there's certain guys like who's the guy for I got burned by him, so I'll throw him out now. Adrian Morhone or whatever, and I was riding him because he was like every time they were tied in a ball game, they were throwing this guy in. And the club was like, Morhone's in here, he'll hold him and we'll catch up. The team had that vibe. When your team's going and their pitcher comes in, they're like, oh, this guy comes in, he'll hold him and we'll come back. He was like their comeback pitcher for about 3 weeks there, and he was on a run. And then he got like a minus 15 or something for me this past week. But you get those guys that are like, this is the guy. He'll hold them. We're not going to put him in when we'll put him in when we're down 1 or 2. But we're never going to put him in unless the game's competitive. And that's the kind of guy, that's you can get some extra points out of, but we only have 3 spots for him. So what are you going to do?
He was a player of the week for you about a month ago, I think. I think I remember that,
Uh,
you know.
but any
I got to
pitcher's
run
going
the
to come
dog
back
out.
and
I'll be
bite
right
you.
back.
Any pitcher's going to bite you in the behind eventually. You know, even DeGrom this week was a disappointment. He had a rough week. Old Jacob DeGrom didn't pull his weight this week,
In
but
that mixed league, I have a pretty good lead in innings. I'm in first place, I'm in first in 4 of the 5 pitching categories. Because I took Scooble and Skeens as my first 2 picks. I had the last pick of the first round, so I got
mhm.
those 2 guys in a row. But so since I have the lead in innings, I decided maybe I could be a little more judicious in my using the starters because I'm also like next to last in saves, and the most I could hope for by the end of the year is to maybe get to be like third last. I'm kind of it's probably not likely that I'll even climb one spot in saves. So I had Eduardo Rodriguez go yesterday, and it was in Sacramento. So I said, you know what? Maybe I'll just sit him down. So I sat him down, but he got the win, and he pitched. I think it was just 5 innings, but only 2 runs. So this is what I mean. Like this is why I'm not a streamer because
It's gutsy, man. To take a
you can
guy in
do all the
Sacramento is scary. It's a scary park to pitch a guy in,
yeah.
Sacramento.
I checked their run factor today. It's down to 109. So like Coors is 112 and Sacramento's 109.
I mean, 109 is terrifying, Lou.
Oh, this is second. It's the second biggest hitters park in baseball.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but in normal circumstances, I would just like in the beer league, I just let it ride. And yeah, sometimes you get burned. Like, oh man, I can't believe you had Eduardo Rodriguez pitch in Sacramento. but sometimes you miss out on shit too. And you know,
Yeah.
and then your good pitchers can have bad nights too. I mean, you know,
Yeah. Streaming's hard. It's a numbers game. They could be like, I got this lineup, and then their head's on the game and, gets away from them too. Oh, we're facing the White Sox tonight. Oh, I got Colorado. They're coming into the park. I got these guys,
yeah.
and all of a sudden they're like, oh, a little punch and Judy here. You get a walk there. You're not as tunneled into your game plan as you normally would. And all of a sudden it's like, dang, my guy gave up 6 runs to the Rockies on the road. What's wrong with this guy? But that's baseball, It is truly like playing a numbers game means you need a big sample, right? Every year I say I'm gonna go look at my streamers and see how I did, and see if there's like a thing that I can do to change it. But it's hard. It's streaming in this league now with 13 teams. If you look at the rotation, I think there's maybe like 7 to 10 guys that aren't owned by a team that are starting for like in a week, not per day. Like I don't know. I was looking at it. I guess when you start throwing Colorado in there and stuff, I don't count them. But if you count Colorado, then maybe 12 guys. But it's hard to find a guy that's worthwhile to pick up to stream, which is a sign of a good league, I think.
I
I don't
think
like streaming pitchers.
I think theoretically there'd be 125 pitchers taken in a moment,
Hmm.
you know, and you know, so that would be 25 available, but that doesn't include the guys that are on waivers. So I'm not sure, but it should be higher than that. But I mean, if you're looking at it every day to stream, then you'll know how many are going. So you know,
Yeah, I mean that's what it feels like. There probably are days when it's like, you know, 5 days after the All-Star break, coming back, you get everybody's worst pitcher on there. And you're like, well, I don't want anybody's worst pitcher. So that whole day doesn't have a guy. You know what I mean? It's because when you reset at the All-Star break, all of a sudden you get, all the fifth starters are lined up again, the fourth and fifth starters. And you're like, oh, well, these guys all stink. So yeah,
well,
it's when they start to offset a little bit.
the standard league, like in the mixed league I'm in, 12 teams, 9 pitchers, let's say 6 are starters. That's probably about average. So that's 72.
Yeah.
We're 13 times 8. So we go a lot deeper. I mean, like there are pitchers available in that mixed roto league I'm in that they're not going to be available in the beer league. Forget it. They're long gone, like,
Yeah.
you know, it's almost like there's, I don't know. It's
And you got to calibrate for each league. You got to calibrate like, and it's not just like the depth, because depth isn't uniform. It like depends, like, and even year to year from league to league, it's like, hey, there's not a lot of good second basemen this year. So that affects every league. But yeah, the pitching depth, calibrating that, calibrating your catcher depth for each league is like really rule dependent. And then you got to factor in like just year to year. And in an only league, you just might not have any good guys at that position in that league. There might be 4 good guys, and then
Like
everybody else
second base and
stinks.
third base are a tough position this year.
Hmm. Yeah, those are the two I was trying to do all year until I just bit the bullet and then traded for Devers. So I figured I'm not gonna be able to keep everybody I got, but and I know Roman Anthony is a good keeper, and so is the Twins kid, Louis Keuchel. But I was like, you know what, I got to make a run. It's like if I'm close enough, I got to give a shot.
is Anthony hurt? I heard maybe he was hurt tonight.
Oh, that's a nice thing about when you trade a guy away, you don't have to pay attention anymore. This is why the anger drops happen. You're like, I'm sick of this guy's news, so I'm just gonna drop him because
I
honestly, that's
think
my favorite type of pickup in the beer league when someone just gets sick of a guy somewhere in like the middle of June and just is like, forget it, I'm done with him. And then you're like, yeah, this guy's really good, but I know he had a bad. Now his bad stuff's gone. I'll get all the good stuff. Yeah, he was scratched tonight with back tightness. Roman Anthony.
it's not a good thing for a young guy.
No, nope.
We were talking about how much deeper we go in pitching, not just because of the extra team, but because we have more pitching spots on our roster. And I think it's weird that rotisserie never adapted to how major league rosters have changed. Back in the early days of rotisserie, you might have a mix of like 15 hitters, 10 pitchers, hence the 14 and 9 setup that they have. But nowadays it's like 13, 13. You have
Hmm.
as many pitchers in your team as you do hitters. So like it's weird that they're still going 14 and 9. They should
Yeah.
bring they should add some pitching spots. I mean, I guess if you're a traditionalist or something, you're gonna keep it the same. But you're being a traditionalist for like some arbitrary way that they decided was the best, back in 1980 or something. It's like I don't know. It just seems like they could
I think I mentioned before I'm in one NL only league that I joined last year that they still are pretty much the original rules from the rotisserie, handbook or whatever it was when they published it.
Glenn
So there's no
Wagner.
bench. There's no bench. NL only, no bench. Uh, and it's so weird to have no bench. And then you get $100 a fab, but every guy you pick up, unless they're a minor leaguer, costs you at least $1. So the most transactions you have in a year is 100. But if you spend a little more on a certain guy, like Devers comes over or something, then then you have less moves. So it really takes care of the streaming thing because you don't have a bench and you don't have that many moves.
So if a guy gets hurt, do you have an IL?
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
got
okay,
IL and that league's
okay,
got like five minor leaguers.
okay.
They, they have one rule they put in a grace period because it's really hard to be on top of that and keep your roster legal every day. Is that you have basically like 10 or 14 days to like make a move. So a guy can come up from the minors, you can just leave him in the minors for like 2 weeks. Or a guy's coming off the IL, you can just leave him on the IL for a couple weeks. You don't have to. That's their version of a bench. It's like, you can wait and just wait a couple. We'll give you a week to sort it out. Which I don't know. I don't like any of it, but it has some logic to it in the simplicity of it, especially considering they're talking about doing envelopes and stuff like you guys used to do. So you got to keep it simple for commish all day Sunday commish sesh when it was pen and paper.
Well, you would hate this league that I'm in, locally here because it's $5 a move.
No,
Jesus.
I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I should be out. I don't know.
I could win it, but I would break even.
Well, last year it was my first year. I came in third. I was in second. I was even in first for a while, but I was in second most of the late year. The very last day, somebody passed me and I finished third. I cleared after my after my entry fee and my transactions, I cleared $48.
You
So I
feel
made
like a
so
winner?
many moves. So this year I'm doing terrible, but I was trying to do as well as I can, but my major goal was to like make fewer moves. I've made fewer moves, but I'm still making too many, I think. So I'm going to try to even make fewer next year. But I realized like this league, you can win it. You just have to get lucky. You can't have your guys get hurt, traded to like at the trade deadline, I had Devers go, well before the deadline. At the deadline, I didn't really get anybody traded. Maybe because I didn't have any good players left. I don't know, but a lot of like I had guys get traded, but they stayed in the AL, so it really made a big difference, And
Yeah. The one thing I'd say for that is like if you lose a guy, they don't have this in either one of those leagues, but I would propose a rule where it's like if you lose a guy, whatever you bid on him in the auction, you get that back for fat bucks or something. So you lose Devers, you get $36 back for what you paid for him
yeah, we
in
don't have
fat at
Fab.
least or
We
something.
don't have Fab. It's just
Yeah,
all rolling list or whatever.
yeah.
I don't know. I like the beer league much better.
Beer league's the best.
You know, it's
Dude,
just
I'll tell you what, I'm looking at like all the past trades right now, and I swear to God, like most of the guys you traded for have gone on the IL. It's Springer, Baum. Well, Baum you traded away.
Yeah.
Uh Chris Sale. Jonathan Aranda you traded away. He's on the IL.
I traded
Baum's on
for
the
just
Bomb
IL.
and then
now.
I traded Bomb away.
Yeah.
I got Bomb from Lou, right?
Was it? Oh, maybe it was. Yeah.
and then I traded Baum away. No, I traded Baum to you. I got him from somebody else from Norm.
I don't, it's so funny. Like, I don't even know if I still have Dome. I can't, maybe I do. I don't even remember. Like, I'm so, like, I've said this before, like, I'm so concentrated on the bottom of my roster that, like, the guys I'm not dropping, I can't even keep track of it who I have sometimes. I might have Bone,
No,
but he's
I
on the
think they traded away a
IL.
lot of good guys on there. I just feel like decent guys come up in the beer league. It's that size. That there's decent dudes that I want to have out. I want to have enough flexibility in my roster to not be have it frozen for like a week. So yeah, I mean, some good guys gotta go if you wanna do that. I don't know. Everybody's got their own thing. But yeah, I probably could like I look at like Spencer Torkelson. Yeah, he's having a good year. Jonathan Aranda just went on the IL, but he had a really good year. I don't know. There's some guys I wish I hadn't traded. We can only start so many first basemen. So
it's like I kind of miss Addison Barger a little bit. I just traded him to Sean, but I got, Matthew Boyd.
that's a good trade for both you guys.
That wasn't
Barger's
that
got a
wasn't
future.
Montas that was traded. It was just Savage. He
Mhm.
originally like agreed to the trade that we kind of did on here. And then when we couldn't do the trade that night, he said, I'll send it in the morning or whatever. And then he sent it and I just hit accept because I expected it. And then I looked at it, I'm like, what the fuck? He had changed his Savage for Montez. And I'm like, no, 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 that wasn't what was agreed
And
on.
Juan Soto was in there, and Alonso.
Alonso wasn't part of that.
Hey, I want to ask you guys
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
because I really want your input, if there is any. What right now we set the trade deadline, the latest that Yahoo allows. It's like August 20th or something like that.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how they figure it out, but I think it's a Thursday. So, anyways, so that's what we went with. So I wanted to have a trade deadline because I felt that it created a sense of urgency that if we didn't have a trade deadline, maybe there would be fewer trades made because there's no deadline. But I'm wondering if is that I thought if it was later, there could be more trades made because people would get more and more desperate and other people would know that they're not in it. So that would be something that would create more trades. Or maybe is it better to have it earlier because there's more teams that are still vying for it? Like there's teams right now that feel like they have a chance to win, whereas 3 weeks from now they're going to, or even 2 weeks from now they might be like, oh, there's no way. So I don't know. What do you think? Just off the cuff, like what do you
I
think? You
think
think
that
that
I think the trade deadline should fall in suit with National League Baseball or Major League Baseball and be on the 31st of July.
Wow. That's a lot of moving parts, though. You're like, I think guys are going to be scared that their guys are going to get moved. I would propose close to that, Jeff. I was going to say do it a week later, or
Just so you
like,
can see who gets moved, and that way there's
yeah, and then
value there.
because you also get a little burnt out on baseball during the trade deadline. It's like I can't even keep track of where all these guys went.
I
And like the
mean,
last thing I want to do is like look at my regular team that I like and my fantasy team. It's exhausting.
I
So you
guess
need
what
like
I
a
would
little
I
break.
guess what I think we'd had this like this before. And this was the other option I was envisioning was like either the latest that it can be or have it be the first full, like I think whatever Yahoo does, like the first full week after the deadline. So if Yahoo's choices are Thursdays now, they used to be Sunday, but if they're Thursdays, then this year it might have been, a few days from now or,
I mean,
something like,
perfect world, sweet spot for the most trades for me would be like if it was 2 weeks after the deadline. I think that's the right amount of time for guys to be like, okay, trade deadline happened. I'm thinking a little bit about next year. I'll do some deals, or I'm going for it. And then you're either in one of those two camps, or you're like, well, I'm going for it. Like going for it could be like I'm going for fourth place or fifth place. And there's guys who are like, ain't I get what I'm gonna get and I'm building my team. So for me, mentally, like 2 weeks is enough time for people to be like, kind of get, it's like sort of like your last baseball push of the year before football really takes hold and fantasy football drafts start. You're like, this is it. This is my like last baseball trades. And then after that, it's just everybody's, there's less talk and there's less wheeling and dealing. So I would say 2 weeks after the deadline, like August 15th would be great.
Yeah. So this year it's the
Well, it's already
20th.
August 20th already.
That's
I
what
don't
I
know.
mean.
So
I
So
don't
it's
know if
not
it's the
bad
20th,
now.
but it might be today's the 4th, 5, 6, 7, 8.
maybe
Might be the
August 7th.
22nd this year. I don't know.
August 7th, yes. So like if the trade deadline was like this, what would that be? Friday? Thursday?
Yeah, if you exactly 1 week, or you make it August 10th.
Would you guys be on the horn? Would you guys be hornier for a trade this Thursday than you would like next Tuesday?
The thing is, I think that, even if you're going to make a move for somebody, that you should have that person for a little bit longer, you know, because either A, it's going to go one or two ways. It's going to go good or it's going to go bad. If it goes bad, well, you've got him longer. He's going to go bad longer. But if you got him good, it's going to go better longer. So, I mean, it's when you get a guy on August 20th, how many games you got left with the fucking dude? 30,
Yeah,
35?
I would say a starter would be that's what can move the needle. I mean, I guess I'll say you trade for uh the catcher that we all passed around last year. You got him right now, the greatest catcher of all time.
Cal Raleigh?
Yes, you trade for him, he moves the needle. But otherwise, the most realistic trade you can do is like for an expensive starter, and you're gonna get what in 8 weeks. You're gonna get like 10 more starts out of him, maybe.
Not Probably not 10. Because they're
I
going to
mean,
probably,
okay, eight,
if they're
nine.
if yeah, if they're in contention for the playoffs or the World Series, they're going to stretch it out and throw a couple of like minor league guys in there from time to time to give these guys extra day of rest.
But if he's worth, let's say, versus like streaming a dude in your last pitcher spot, you get in a stud and he's giving you 15 to 20 extra points a week over just throwing random guys in there. That can really change you from like 2-4 this week would have put me at like 3-3, or like some weeks instead of 3-3, I'm going to 4-2. I think it's worth like that kind of move is worth a guy in the standings. But you're right, it goes down when you only have like 6 weeks left. But every one of those weeks, you get a chance. That guy can flip. A starting pitcher can flip a game. I want to say for you.
So
Yeah.
our deadline is the 21st this year. Now with Yahoo, you can only choose. You have weekly choices. So it could have been the 14th, the 7th, could have been July 31st, July 24th, or no deadline. So
Okay.
what we're kind of saying here is like either the 7th or the 14th would be best, maybe.
I mean, it's a gentleman's league, more or less. Like we could just say a date. It doesn't have to be the Yahoo date, but it is easier to just say the date on Yahoo than everybody can just look it up whenever they
Right.
want to look it up.
I like August 7th. That's my thing.
If
I'm
it's
not against it, man.
yeah,
If it was 7th or the 20th, I'm like, either way. But I like the deadline a little bit sooner. The 20th seems like some people are gonna be a little checked out.
Yeah.
all
Well,
right.
hey, you guys want to hear of some people who lost their jobs because of the trade deadline that
Hmm.
maybe you haven't known about?
Brody Van Wagenen.
Well, there's Kevin Biggio is one of them. You got Nicky Lopez lost his job with the Yankees. He's been released. Jacob
Did he ever
Stallings,
really have a job?
yeah, he just a bounce arounder. Jacob Stallings, another one, released from the Orioles. John Singleton from the Astros.
Wait,
Marcus Stroman,
Stallings, who I drafted for $1 at the beginning of the year when he was on the Rockies.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, he didn't have a job either.
yeah. The New York Yankees released Marcus Stroman.
Yeah.
Of course, the Cubs released Ryan Presley. The Toronto Blue Jays released Amir Garrett. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Then Austin Barnes was released. Jacob Barnes was released. Bad day for the Barnes. And
Guys,
then Rich.
I bet you Presley signs with the Twins. That's where he started. And there was a little rumor that he might come back up here. I bet you he could come up here and close and get like 7 to 10 saves down the stretch for a bad
Yeah.
Twins team.
Rich Hill, again, looking for a job. The Angels released Lamonte Wade Jr.
Oh,
And they also released Tuki Toussaint.
Love that
The
name.
White Sox released Noah Syndergaard. Jesus Christ, if the White Sox don't want that guy, he's done. Los Angeles
Yeah.
Angels released Kevin Newman. New York Mets released Julian Merriweather, used to be a former relief pitcher for the Cubs. The Kenta Maeda. And
Came to my head. Oh,
that's
on
about it
Detroit.
of note.
Yeah. I don't think that many guys. Those guys all bounced around. They were on most of them were on multiple teams, or their team was waiting to get rid of them.
Oh, and Houston
Maeda was on a
released
bum deal, way overpaid.
the Astros released Omar Narvaez. So he's a journeyman catcher that's pretty much played everywhere.
That's because they think they have enough hitters now because they had Caratini going at DH for
Yeah.
like 2 months, but now supposedly, well, they traded for hitters and Jordan, I'll believe it when I see it. Took batting practice on the field today. Alvarez is supposedly coming back too, so they don't need 3 catchers on that roster.
Well, Vidal Brujan, who was just waived by the Cubs, DFA'd, has found a new place and was selected off waivers by Baltimore Orioles.
huh?
It's a body.
Because they traded
Yeah.
Ramon Urias.
Now,
He's still a
this
pretty
is not
young
the
guy,
first
right?
time the Orioles picked from the droppings of a Chicago team. The White Sox the day before put Ryan Noda on waivers, and the Orioles took him
Yeah,
too.
the Orioles got him. Brujan is
So
a hitter, right?
Yeah.
Brujan's like a utility
Yeah,
infielder.
yeah. Who's the pitcher that I get him mixed up with from the Rays? Maybe it was
Soon?
maybe it was Taj Bradley. I don't know. Shane
That's
Baz,
way different, Lou.
Vidal Brujan, Taj Bradley, Shane Baz.
Because
No,
it's got a J in the name somewhere that's not in the beginning.
that's enough for me. I mean,
Oh, Toronto Blue Jays dropped Chad Green as well.
yeah, I saw that.
Lou, do you have a box in your head where like the special characters on Yahoo? If they're a guy who gets an umlaut or like or like a tilde, then like they're all in your same head because you have to like they always mess up your spreadsheets.
I do that. I have a well, you know what? Now Fangraphs has that ASCII, the ASC
Oh yeah,
period.
yeah, yeah.
And I cut that row over and use that as the name row because it doesn't have all the accents and all that bullshit.
Because Yahoo's the only one that they put all the different names. Like I'll search for a guy and I'm like, why isn't the guy coming up? And then I'm like, I gotta go to the team and sort for pitcher. And then I'm like, there he is. But like
Yahoo's
sometimes like
bad. Yahoo's
I'll be
bad like
typing it
that.
in and I can't find a guy.
Sometimes when the guys have the Spanish accents and stuff, written accents, not the way that they speak.
See, senor.
And I'm searching for them, like it won't come up. Like or alphabetically it gets screwed up. Like, you look for Baez under BA and he's not there. Like, what the fuck? And it's like he's like either at the beginning or at the end, of them because the accents do something different. I was like, come on,
Who comes
yeah,
up, Mr. T?
let's
B.E.A.
just
Baracus?
normalize this.
Oh.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a pain. But yeah, so thank goodness Fangraphs is doing that now. So the only thing that gets screwed up is if they have like, Cedric Mullins the second, Lamonte Wade Jr. If you have juniors, then the other list doesn't have junior on it. It won't come. But
You start going by Jonathan instead of John or Johnny
yeah,
or
that's another
Giancarlo. I mean, that's the
Samuel
classic.
as opposed to
What happened to
Sam.
Mike Stanton? Mike Stanton had the best career ever. I don't know about this Giancarlo guy, but Mike Stanton was good.
Oh, Mike Stan was great. As soon as he changed his name, he got beamed in the face and sucked.
Mm-hmm.
I have to
He's having a good
manually.
run this year.
I have to manually go in and put Max Muncy 2. So I have to put a 2 at the end of the Athletics Max Muncy because, and usually I forget to do it, but sometimes I remember at first because otherwise it all gets screwed up there. You know, like with my
I think secretly, like guys were like, when Max Muncy was sucking at the beginning of the year before he got his eyesight fixed, they were like, "Wouldn't it be great if Max Muncy retires at the end of this year and we only have one Max Muncy
yeah,
again?"
I'm rooting for
Like,
it.
yeah, they're like, "Oh, I'm rooting against him for no good reason." Well, for a good reason, your own time and hassle.
You know, and forget about Luis Garcia for God's sake. Oh my God, there's so
Luis
many.
A. Garcia.
Oh, jeez.
There's a lot of Luis Garcias in the world.
Yeah.
This we know.
At least if it's just hitter and pitcher, okay, that's no problem. But like then when there's like three pitchers named Luis Garcia, it's just like
Mhm. It's the truth. Um, do I got time to run and get a refill on my beverage?
Yeah.
what you drinking?
I was running low on whiskey, so I just poured vodka and soda.
Vodka
Usually I
and
drink
soda.
whiskey on the podcast, but I love this glass though. House on the Rock. It's very nice.
Nice. Oh, that's up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so one it's that weirdo. He got rejected by Frank Lloyd Wright, so he built that huge house up there and filled it
Yeah,
with a bunch of weird mannequins and stuff. Yeah, it's great. If you have never been, I recommend going once.
it's like
It's a
north of the
great thing.
Dells or something.
Yeah, it's um northwest of Madison would be the
Okay.
best way to put it. If you're in Madison, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, or like southwest of the Dells. But yeah, it's a great place for parents with teenagers.
Mhm.
Like they're like, this is, it's like they'll actually be like, oh, this is interesting.
Is that the Driftless area?
It is. It's the very bottom of Driftless.
Yeah.
Yeah, where there were no drifts.
Well, it was two ice ages in a row that
Yeah.
the glaciers just missed that area. You know, it's like if you pour a glass of water on the table and certain parts of the table don't get any water. Like, you know, there's puddles right next to it. And that's what happened with the Driftless area. So they have a very old, geological formations right on the surface, you know, like you don't have to dig for them because the glaciers never
You
touch.
go you go really far back, they say it was like a mountain range way back. Depends who you talk to, but that's when I walk the trails in Driftless, like that's what they're saying on the little placards.
Well, the
Is that
highest point in Illinois besides the Sears Tower is Charles Mound, right in northwest Illinois, and it's like 12 between 12 and 1,300 feet above sea level, maybe like 1,294 or something.
Oh yeah, that's Driftless. That's bottom of Driftless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the highest point in Illinois besides Sears Tower, I guess.
Charles Mound. It's an okay porn name. It's not the best. It's passable.
Have you
I
been
like
to Galena? I'm sure you have, or
Once.
yeah, I went there once or twice. Diane took me, but when I went there, I was like, oh my God, this is like New England. It looks just like New England, you know.
Hmm. You rolling hills, streams, whatnot,
Yep.
stuff. All right.
Antiques,
Hit
porn
the
names.
bathroom. Hit the
girl
bathroom. I'll
stuff.
be right back, boys. One
Hey, you
second.
brought up the porn name thing. You know, my favorite porn name is Dick B. Dragon.
Who brought up the porn name?
He did. He said it's not quite a porn name.
What?
That's a porn name I made up, Dick B. Dragon. I've never seen anything like, anybody name that or
Who did
anything, but
who did Phil say that in reference to?
something when you said mounds or some shit.
Oh, Charles Mound.
Yeah. It's like that's not exactly a porn name.
See, it's good. My ears are failing me.
Keeps the peace around the house.
Oh boy.
Did I ever show you these cards that we got at the Brewers game?
No.
So there's Yelich one.
Yelich.
These are all there's Jackson Churio.
Yelich, a cautionary tale for Roman Anthony fans.
Here is Sal Frelick. Here is Joey Ortiz.
Cool. Bet you Chris liked those.
Here is Bryce Terang, Terang, Tara, Terang, Tara.
You purchased those?
No, they're giving them away at the gate, but the guy who actually created these gave them to us.
Jeez, that's great.
That's Willem Contreras. I've actually got some other cards that he's done that were sold on the top site. Um,
Oh, that was the pop-up guy or whatever, right?
yeah, Pop Fly.
I forgot about
So
that.
so here's a Dale Murphy, comes in a case and everything. This one's really cool. I wish the glare wasn't right there, but let me see if I can get the glare off it a little bit.
Man,
Look,
did he give
worth
Chris did he give Chris any of them or did he give them all to you?
Well, no, I bought this one.
Yeah.
These next three I bought. There's the Aaron Judge one,
All rise.
and then oh, this is cool. I got a Joe Ryan signed rookie card. Um, and here's Mackenzie Gore. This one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff. That guy is very talented, and his imagination and the time he puts into getting the detail down on a lot of this stuff is amazing to me. He really goes deep into the story, you know. So
You
that
talking
being
about Dick B.
said,
Dragon?
huh? The porn is yeah, we're talking about Dick the Dragon.
Oh,
All right, I
catching
got
up.
a guy. We're gonna do this a little bit differently though. I'm gonna give you 5 clues up front, and you only get 10 guesses.
Okay.
Okay,
All
I
right.
like that.
Just to make it go a little quicker.
ABBA.
All right.
Oh.
First clue is he started his career in 1978. Second clue, he is a Hall of Famer. Third clue, he's a 7-time All-Star. Fourth clue, he has won a World Series in his career. And then the fifth clue is he has a career WAR of 75.7. All
Hmm.
right.
Go ahead, Phil.
Um, hmm. Who is Paul Molitor?
Oh, God damn it.
Hmm?
You didn't even ask a question.
You said 78, and I was like, ooh. And then I was like, well, it can't be Yount. He doesn't have a World Series.
Shit, man. Fuck those goddamn clues then.
Nice.
No, no, it was good. Come on, that was random.
That was really good.
How about you get a free clue every like 2 guesses or something?
Man, your question was way better than mine. Well, it wasn't even a question. I was going to go
You
like,
didn't ask a
is he
question.
AL or NL?
Who is Paul Molitor? Bing.
Hey, that's my first one. I never get them like that. So
Do you remember when I fucked up Kimmler when he in like 3 questions, I guess Joe Charbonneau, and he's like, how the fuck did you know that?
yeah, you're in
Well, I
my
happen
head.
to know. Somebody asked if he was rookie of the year, and he said, yeah, he was rookie of the year. And then I don't know if he gave like the year or whatever. I just kind of like bing, light bulb went
Mhm.
off.
If you get Rookie of the Year and it's an era that you remember, like you can really like hone in on the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
It's a you know it's a good, especially Joe. I mean, and he's the classic example of a guy that like run Rookie of the Year and you know
A
then you have
mediocre
the
career,
career.
if not a poor career.
They
Yeah.
asked, they asked Tom Seaver what record he was most proud of. What maybe they said award, but and he said rookie of the year because you only get one shot. So,
Yeah. Come out of the gate, man, ready to roll. Yeah. It's a good one. I mean, there's plenty of guys that have gotten it, but I think Joe Charbonneau is like the one that kept pointing to it, at least when I was growing up. Yeah, Paul Molitor had a run, man. Had a good career, and he was a bad manager, right? Wasn't he like the Brewers man or Twins
Actually got
manager for a
manager of the
while?
year one time.
Really?
Yeah.
Stand corrected.
And if I remember correctly, he was one of the few players that actually did get more healthy as he got older. You always say that about a young player, like, well, he's not going to get any more healthy as he gets older. But Molitor, I guess, maybe because he was DHing, but he played fuller seasons as toward the end of his career.
He did DH a lot.
So do you know who was rookie of the year Paul Molitor came up and basically had a better season than Molitor in his rookie year? So in 78, Lou Whitaker was the rookie of the year for the Detroit
Uh,
Tigers.
Sweet
Jeez,
Lou.
I thought that Lou came up before then.
The pair of Sweet Lou and Alan Trammell there were a great keystone, and Molitor and Yano were great keystones. You'd point to them and be like, "Man, I wish we had those guys."
I'm just going to share this screen right now so you guys can see some of this. But these are going all the way to the top. But let's just start down here with from 70. And you can see Thurman Munson was rookie of the year in 1970. And let's see which ones basically kind of sucked after that. Gary Matthews was rookie of the year, the Sarge.
He's
The Sarge. He had a good career, man. Good
Yeah, he
career.
did. I liked him. But like Mark Fidrich, crazy.
Oh yeah, Mark the Bird.
Bob Horner in 78.
Have you seen
Alfredo
Have
Griffin?
you seen that documentary, The Bird?
I
No.
haven't.
Oh, you should see it. It's good.
Didn't his fucking
They
truck
show it
fall
on
on?
MLB Network.
Is it about Fidrich or is that about
Yeah.
Bob Horner? Because Bob Horner gave MLB the bird and went to play in Japan when nobody would give him a free agent contract he wanted. He's like, "Fine, I'll go make $4 million in Japan."
Yeah, and he beat the shit out of the ball over there.
Yeah,
He's like, if Spinal Tap can make it out there, Bob Horner can make it out there.
So John Castino, he probably had a pretty his career didn't go anywhere. So he was
yeah.
rookie of the year with Alfredo Griffin. Steve had a baseball for drugs. Joe Charbonneau just sucked after that.
It's
Then you
just
had
small enough that I can't read it.
Fernando Mania, right?
And then Steve Stacks and Cal Ripken Jr. at the same year.
Yeah. Can you zoom that in a little, Jeff?
What's that?
Just a little. Can you zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, let me see here.
Just a wee shite. Thank you, sir.
Oh,
Get this
I can
over
see it
here.
now. Yeah.
There you go. Ooh, saw a little Andre
thought
Dawson back there.
I thought Steve Sachs was after Cal Ripken Jr. I didn't know they won the same year.
I thought Sachs. I would have guessed Sachs debuted in like '79 in my head.
No, I thought it was later. I thought it was like 84.
Hmm.
But Steve Sachs didn't have like the great career. He had a decent career, but not a great career. Ron Kittle had a pretty poor career.
Look at those stats. Look at those Steve Sachs rookie of the year. He must have had a bunch of game-winning RBIs. Remember like that in the 80s when they were like, Keith Moreland's got the most game-winning RBIs, and everybody was like pushing that stat. Because like those are not very good stats for a rookie.
It was a bad year for rookies that year.
Yeah.
I think they just looked at like he had 282, he had 49 stolen bases. So like that was, that's good.
Oh, 49 stolen bases. Oh, yeah, never mind. You're right. I didn't know that. That was 49. I stand corrected.
But
Ron Kittle, though.
Look at his OPS. It's like barely 700, right? Or a little bit below 700, right?
Yeah. 49 steals is no joke, though.
No.
Look at
Vince Coleman here with 110 steals.
Look at Ozzie Guillen.
Yeah, steals.
291 OBP. He's lucky that he was in that era because they saw the 279 batting average. Oh, that's decent.
Well,
the 291 OBP is not good.
He got picked because of like basically his defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a glove.
And he had 33 ribbies. Don't forget that. He drove in.
Alvin Davis was a pretty good player.
Boy, that's a name I barely like. It's on my radar. I'm like, yeah, I think that's a player.
Who, Alvin Davis?
Jerome Walton.
think he played for teams that I never saw. You know.
He played for Seattle. Okay, let's bring him up here real quick. He played for Seattle for most of his career, and then his career ended at 31.
Yeah, 1 year with the Angels. Okay, that's why. Because I just never. It's like this. He's a dark spot in my baseball mind. It's weird too. He played like every day until his last season. Then he was done.
So, question to you guys: is he a Hall of Famer? Do you think?
No,
No.
no,
Why do you ask that?
yeah, fucking smart ass. Quite good at 84. Todd Worrell. Yeah, he didn't really have that much of a career.
But Louis,
Jose
he had a career
Canseco.
a career 125 WRC plus is good, man.
It's very good.
A career
Oh yeah.
366 WOBA, like that's good. Like that was good.
Damn good. He's better than Joe
Saving them.
DeCenzo, I'll tell you that.
Look, he had Jose Canseco 1 year, Mark McGuire the very next year, and then Walt Weiss. 3 years in a row, Oakland had the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Mets had 2 in a row, but not 3.
Dubs, they had Walton, and then that was it. For some reason, I thought they had another guy, but I guess Walton was the guy.
White Smith and Walton actually shared the award that year.
They
And that
did?
should, I
Is that
thought
what
they
I'm
did.
thinking of? That's maybe what it's in my head because I was like,
Actually, it's Jerome Walton here. I thought Dwight Smith was they gave it to both of them, but I guess it was just Jerome Walton.
hmm. Here's this one with you.
Here's a guy that really fucked it up, Pat Listash.
Well, little Auntie Guillen for you.
Yeah.
1986 card.
So the first
That
year of
is
the
Bob
beer league,
Hamlin.
the rookies were Knobloch and Bagwell.
Bob Hamlin, first baseman designated hitter. Where is he now? He
Yeah.
was rookie of the year,
Right now,
and he
I
only
think he's
played
at
for
Bubba's
6 years.
Barbecue, an hour outside of Kansas City.
He could not stay healthy. Look at this. This guy got rookie of the year. That must have been a poor year for AL rookies. Bob Hamlin.
Bob Hamlin, huh?
Yeah. 1994.
That was
I
the
didn't know.
short year.
I mean, that fucking. I don't think I've ever heard that name.
No, that's another one where I'm like, yeah, these rookies of years is like that's
But
some of
look at
these
that.
names are good names that mess people up,
That
but
was
I
the
wouldn't I
short. That
wouldn't
was the
know anything about
100,
them.
10-game year or whatever. But he slugged almost 600, and his OBP was 388. Is that right? 368, 380.
Yeah, but he only played like 6 years. He
Oh,
came up at
dude,
25 years
what a
old. He was
run though,
retired
man.
by
That
his
guy almost had
30s.
1,000 OPS and 24 dingers.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah, that's a
good rookie
rookie of the
year.
year campaign in '94. But
Look at his
man,
slugging was almost 600. His
but
OBP was 388.
how
Look,
did
he
his
had a
career
great
look?
season to make it. It's just he didn't do much after that.
No,
He
Yeah,
was a one-hit wonder.
but that year was only 70% of a real year, right? Something like that.
he had
Yeah.
he played in 101 games that year. 101 games.
That's the year that Sean won the beer league. That's why, on the trophy it's got an asterisk because it wasn't a real year.
He had a career 2.5 WAR.
He batted left-handed, man. I wonder if they platooned him his whole career.
So
He
he was
never
on
played.
KC. He was on KC for 4 seasons. He played 16 games his first year in 93, still qualified as a rookie, got rookie of the year in 94, played 101 games. Then he played 72 games in 95 and 89 games in 96. He ended up going to Detroit, where he played 110 games, put up 18 home runs, batted 270, started looking like the old him. And then the next year, it was terrible. Then he ended up going to Milwaukee in 98, and then he didn't play after that.
Yeah. So
So 6 seasons.
lefty platoon bat. All right, I'm gonna throw a name at you guys. This is not supposed to be a guessing game, but I literally can't remember it. So he would have been active in the beer league within the last 10 years. He just passed 500 home runs in organized baseball. So this is like playing in either Japan, Mexico League,
Aubrey
minor
Huff.
leagues, or in played at first baseman, a lot of swing and miss. I know he was on Oakland for a while. Played for a lot of teams, but like right around age 30, everybody got rid of him. Carter, remember him? Carter, Chris Carter.
Yeah.
He just passed 500 homers in like the I want to say Mexican League for like
No
his
shit.
career in organized baseball. He's one of those like footnote guys where I was like, I saw a little story on it. It was cool. It was cool. He's like, I don't know, guys, just teams. My strikeout rate was too high. But one thing he never stopped doing was hitting home runs. Was it Chris Carter?
Chris
Yeah.
Carter doesn't ring a bell. Chris Davis?
I
Chris
feel like it's
Davis with a
Carter.
K?
It's Carter. No, Chris Carter, man, he hit 41 dingers with Milwaukee in 2016. Signed with the Yankees in the offseason in 2017, and then never made it back up to the bigs after that. I don't
Wow.
know what site shows everything, but in his combined career in minors, big leagues, and Mexico League, and Japan, he's hit over 500 dingers. It's a Crash Davis level achievement.
Yeah.
Maybe he was into cocaine
Yeah, that
and
was a good
just
little
wanted to
story. I
play in
don't know who had it.
Mexico because their cocaine was better.
It might have been athletic. Like he just stopped getting offers. He did have a lot of swing and miss. I mean, he was a guy that like regularly struck out more than 30%, you know, like
Was he a
31,
locker room
thirty-two
problem?
percent
That's the question you got to ask yourself.
I think it's hard to survive in the big leagues if you strike out more than 30%. That's like a line where I'm like, if you can't get it less than 30%, you got to hit a lot of dingers, man, to be worthwhile to your team.
A lot of
Or
walks,
you got to walk
a lot
an
of
awful
dingers.
lot. What's that?
A lot of walks, a lot of dingers.
hmm
Yeah, 30's hard.
Anyways, sorry, random digression.
I don't remember that name. It's not even that
So,
long ago.
what do you guys think as far as like rookie of the year this year? Who do you think the running thing is for NL and AL? Who do you think will get it?
Hmm. I think Kurtz now has passed the shortstop for the A's. Now that I think he broke his forearm or something, or got a hairline
Jacob
fracture.
Wilson?
Yeah, Jacob Wilson was definitely the front runner, but I think Kurtz has passed him in the AL.
I didn't
I'm
know that
pretty
was Jack Wilson's son.
Yeah.
man. It is truly a cheat code to be like, who's a big league son in the minors, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
But he's
and
different.
then
He's so different.
the
Yeah.
NL though, the NL is a really good question. I don't know where you'd even like find those stats of who the best rookies are.
Drake Baldwin?
Yeah,
Let's take
he's a part-time catcher. I don't know.
He's getting
Uh,
a lot of DH at bats now.
yeah, they're gonna be end up more fit. They're gonna end up both having like 60% of games started. I think something like that.
Was Churio still a rookie this year?
No, I don't think so. Right? No,
no.
Um, James Wood, he's not a rookie this year either.
James Wood would be, wouldn't he?
I
No.
think so. Wait.
He
All
won it last year, I guess.
right. So
James Wood played 79 games last year. No, he's ineligible.
yeah.
I think what's the limit? Like 25 or 30?
So if teams want to preserve a guy's rookie status for next year, so they get that extra, pick, that compensatory pick, whatever, award pick, they need 130 at bats. Can't exceed 130 at bats, not plate appearances, just at bats. So when is
Yeah.
that? When is that? Like late
It's
August,
usually like it's
mid-August?
no, it's usually like September 3rd or 5th, something like there. Like
Oh,
because like depends how many games. If it's a hitter, you can sit them down, and a pitcher, you can control their innings. So but
well,
if
I
you're
think
gonna
they
bring
have
somebody up and play them
45
every
days
day,
too.
it's about 24 days or so.
I think it's like 30 innings, 45 days, or 130 at bats. But
Right.
when is that? It's like August 15th, 20th.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like September 4th or 5th, based on like when they got caught when teams were calling up guys
If
last
it's
year.
130 at bats, that's going to be you won't get 130 at bats in 4 weeks.
No, the pitchers they want to get them like 4 starts, but for batters, I'm trying to think of like who were guys that they brought up and they did this to. They did that. Didn't the Diamondbacks do that with Corbin Carroll? He was the last guy I remember where they were like, we're going to call him up and we still want to have rookie eligibility for the next year.
Yeah, I guess you could call him up 45 days before the end of the season, and
Yeah, you
then
don't have
just
to.
sit him down and make sure he doesn't get 130 at bats.
Yeah, you can just be like, he's tired. Shut up, kid. You're tired. Sit down.
I think the
Hey, here's the
last day of the season might be the 29th this year, but I'm not sure of that. But so then
I
that would
think
be around
somewhere beginning of
August,
September is how it was last
August,
year.
right, probably right before August 15th. So then we'll probably see some activity of guys getting called up right about then, about what, 2 weeks from now, week and a half from now.
Some guys like Bubba Chandler, you can see him come up and get like his feet wet, get 4 starts with
I
Pittsburgh.
see what you're saying. Like pitchers, it might be later. Hitters, it might
Mhm.
be around August 15th or
Yeah.
whatever. But pitchers, it could be later because, like, if you bring them up and you don't, well, when's the minor league season end?
Usually right at the beginning of September.
Oh, okay.
Like they just start doing their playoffs like right after Labor Day.
So I've got
Um,
this up here, the National League Rookie of the Year odds leaders. Right now, Drake Baldwin is number one. Number two is Augustin Ramirez,
Oh, yeah. He
Marlins.
might do it.
Number three right now is Jacob Misiorowski. And number four is Cade Horton. And Chase Burns comes up on number five. I
yeah.
think Caleb Durbin deserves to be probably number two. That kid is fucking good right now.
Yeah, he is.
That's who they
And he
got
thought
from the
Kim was
Yankees
in
in
there,
the
but he
Kevin
got
Williams
hurt,
trade.
and Chad Patrick got sent down. I think it's between Mizorowski and Augustin Ramirez. I think it's hard. How do you not make Augustin Ramirez the rookie of the year, though? What else do you want a guy to do?
I think they would enjoy giving it to a catcher because I don't think that happens too much, right? When's the
Yeah.
last time a catcher was rookie of the year?
And to Miami, they're like, it's Miami. They're always going to suck.
I can't think of one. Can you? Was like Mao or
Uh,
Posey or anybody rookie of the
no,
year?
I don't think they just don't get the run. I don't think Rushman got it. I think he was a favorite to get it, but he didn't get it. Um, I don't know. Yeah, who was the last catcher to win Rookie of the Year? It's just you don't get the plate appearances. It's hard to do. But there's a lot of good catchers this year, man. A lot of good rookie catchers.
And they're getting better, man. There's some good ones in the pipeline too. We're not done seeing them pop up.
Masalo.
So here is the numbers for
Buster
Augustin
Posey.
Ramirez.
It was Posey. Huh?
Posey in 2010 was the last catcher to get Rookie of the Year.
So you got he's got 344 at bats this year, 241 batting average. Isn't knocking down the door or anything. His on base percentage, 17 home runs is nice and 50 RBIs. He's got a 751 OPS, which is a little above average.
And he didn't
But for
start
the
the
first
year.
season,
He didn't start the year as the starter, so that's not even full year stats.
They called him up. They called him up a few weeks into the year.
Okay.
They didn't. He didn't start. He didn't break because I have him in a NL only league.
It does say April
maybe
21st. I guess that's earlier than I thought. I thought it was like May.
3 weeks in, but
Yeah.
But he played. He also bats in the middle of the lineup, and I guess maybe now it doesn't matter to the voters. I bet you they're like more. They probably look at more of the raw numbers than they used to. But I don't know. It's something that having playing like almost the whole year and being there the whole year.
Let me ask you about a specific player for selfish reasons too, but Jesus Sanchez. I've always kind of liked him, and even Miami wasn't playing him full time. They were platooning him, which is probably their modus operandi. And then they traded him away, and I think the Marlins are a smart group. So does that mean that he's not that good? I mean, what do you think of him? I know Houston went for him because they're so desperate, for a lefty bat.
I think he's good, and I think he's way better in Houston than he is in Miami. Better lineup, better park. I don't know if they'll platoon him, but he bats left-handed. So do you really, if you have Chris Sale on the mound, are you getting anything from Jesus Sanchez facing Chris Sale or like a Blake Snell, a tough lefty that day anyway? So a left-handed guy who gets platooned, I don't know if it's the biggest deal in the world. A
I mean,
right-handed guy, forget
thinking
it.
that the Marlins are a smart team, which I do, because they've got Bendix now there from the Rays, and so I do put stock into what they think. So they obviously didn't want to put Sanchez in left and have him be their left field guy. So what do you
He's
think?
played some. He's not a bad defender, man. They've ran him out in center field and stuff too. He's not a center fielder. Like he could definitely be like your right fielder.
I think he was
But
playing
he
left
has
mostly with them.
so in 22 he played 78 games in center, and this year he's played in center 10 games, like as a backup. He's mostly been in right field. He's a decent defender. He's a solid guy. He's like okay, Arizona guy, Lourdes Gurriel. I think he could be like a Lourdes Gurriel type. He's a guy that bats seventh on your like team that goes to the World Series
Why wouldn't the Marlins be interested in keeping him?
because their window for winning. He's got what 3 years of service, a little over. So he's a free agent in 2028. The Marlins don't think they're
That
going to win
sounds
next year.
ridiculous. Like they're vying for possibly a wild card this year. Probably
But
not, but I
but
mean,
every year he loses team control. He loses value, and he's a guy. He's not that good. He has
Yeah.
value now because he's cheap and he's decent. You know
Well,
what I mean? But
what
when
did he
he's
get
when
for
he's
him?
gonna be a
Gonna
free
happen
agent,
here.
they wouldn't get that shit for him. When he has 1 year left on his contract, they're not going to get as much for him. So
What
they're
did they
like,
what did they get for him? Do you
I don't
know?
know.
Tell you in a second. But here's the thing: he's only been on one team his whole career, and it just you get complacent and that sort of thing. Look at what first baseman Vaughn is doing for Milwaukee. I think this is something that can just actually get the potential out of him. So he might be a better player going forward. You never know.
You
There's
kind of
that
walk
train
in,
thing.
let's say you're in Miami, and he was always one of the top three hitters they had. His whole career, he's been like middle of the order guy. He's got the big dick in the locker room. And then all of a sudden he goes to Houston, and it's like, oh, okay. And then you're like, I got to step it up. I got to be better. But like,
He
yeah,
was
there's nobody
traded.
pushing you.
Yeah,
On a bad team, there's nobody pushing you, and you're not worried about your career. Like, oh, I got traded. Is that a wake up call? It could be.
yeah.
The Marlins
Well,
are not in a position where they have a you know, ton of depth in that lineup. So I'm just
I
I'm
think
not
I don't
questioning
think it
like,
was a dump
will he
though. I
do
don't think
better
it
with
means
the
he's bad.
Astros? But it's like, why would the
They're both
Marlins
smart
decide
teams.
that he was nothing to them?
Wait,
wow.
but
I'm surprised the
what did he
Marlins
get
got the
traded for
gusto.
nothing? Yeah, he got Gusto. Gusto started games in the bigs. He has quality starts this year. I'm stashing him in the beer league. I don't think Ryan
Yeah,
and in several other leagues. Ryan Gusto is not a bum. That's
right,
like a
right, right.
good arm. It's a good arm to get for a guy that like eventually is gonna like age out. He's gonna age into left field. Right now he's a right fielder, but eventually he's gonna have less
So
value.
maybe
So
that trade more says what they thought of Taj Bradley than anything else.
Well, Chase
Right?
Jaworski too. If you look at the pickups they made, they don't have
wait,
room for him anymore.
Taj Bradley's not on the Taj Bradley was on Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Jesus Christ. Mixing up my
Esmo
story.
Valencia, he's a center fielder, right fielder, 19 years old from the Dominican Republic.
I don't know. They got a 26-year-old starting pitcher that started 14 games this year. Even if he's just an inning eater guy
He's 7 and
for
4. He's got a
Sanchez, and they got
5.92
guys.
ERA,
They have other guys they want to give a shot. They're trying to do the athletics thing where they're like, they want a bunch of quad A guys. They're going to give them all a shot, and some are going to turn out to be good, and they'll get them for cheap. That's like what the A's do all the time.
look
So
at
the
this
Marlins,
motherfucker's neck, man. He looks like a thumb.
So the Marlins didn't trade any pitching, huh?
No, they hung on to pitching. They didn't. They no bullpen guys moved. Um, they didn't do a lot at the deadline at all.
It was surprising because in the years past few years, you pretty much call up the Marlins for one of the relievers and like, sure, yeah, whatever you give us, we'll trade a Bender. I don't care. You know,
So,
Enter
so
Scott.
speaking of the Marlins and last year, this is how much a year can make a difference in your opinion on things. So remember last year and most of this year too, they traded Trevor Rogers to the Orioles, right?
Right.
And everybody was like, "What a dumb trade for the Orioles at the time." Like this guy stinks. Yeah, he was good as a rookie, but he's broken. And they got two good hitters out of it. You know, they got with Norbert or I don't know. That's from
Norby and,
Norby.
and Stowers.
Norbert's from Naked Gun. Yeah, Norby and Stowers. And Stowers is a stud and still, but but now Rogers is lighting it up.
Yeah.
Rogers is also being good. It's almost one of those trades that like isn't really that bad for either one, but it's looked really bad until Trevor Rogers, came back for Baltimore, and now the guy has a 1.44 ERA and a .75 WHIP over 9 games started.
Wow.
9 games started. Like all of a sudden, Trevor Rogers is like back.
I picked him up in that AL Roto League.
Isn't that crazy though? But everybody had written him off. We are all like making fun of the trade, and the Orioles are so stupid. The Marlins are so smart. And yeah, maybe it's just you never know. You know, they're both rolling the dice.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I
Well,
think everybody is too short to judge things, right? Like too quick to judge things. Like
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know. Like, oh, you trade a guy and the next day he hits a home run. You're an idiot.
yeah,
You feel like an idiot,
yeah,
but like it doesn't necessarily it isn't the whole result. But you definitely feel stupid, you know, for 2 weeks if a guy goes on a run after you trade him. And
well, the
yeah,
thing I see too with the Marlins is that basically you've got these young guys that came in. Yes, it's Norby, you got Stowers, you got Augustin, Ramirez, but like Jesus Sanchez has been around there for 6 fucking years before any of these guys showed up. I think they want to change the culture around there something fierce, and by
yeah.
doing that, they have to eliminate a lot of the old people that have been hanging around during the worst years of his career.
You just gotta make room, you know. It's like it's not his fault. Maybe he isn't necessarily a loser, but he was there during a lot of losing. So let's
Yep.
just start fresh, right? And
well,
they got a lot of guys. Like I heard them say on Rates and Barrels that, Sarah said like they're doing the A's thing where they like get a bunch of guys that are quad A guys. Some of these guys are actually good enough to play in the bigs and some aren't. So if they clear their roster, they can shuffle through these guys, and some of them are going to be JJ Bleday and not make it, and some of them are also going to pop, and like be like,
What was
oh,
he fucking overpicked in the draft? God damn.
Bleday this year.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, Blade was like the fourth or fifth player picked in the draft in the first round one year.
Oh yeah,
And man, as far as like everybody around him that got picked are actually gone on to have pretty decent seasons, and he's just the one that's standing out looking like a chump.
really is like a I can't think of the right way to ever visualize it, but it really is that like you want to have a certain amount of bat speed. Then you can have enough. Then you don't need as much of a zone to hit. You don't need as much of a mistake zone. Or if you're like really a slow hitter with the bat, then you need a longer time in the zone where you can like drag the bat through. And like he's definitely one of those guys who like, man, he can send it a mile, but he just doesn't have the barrel in the zone for very long at all.
so just getting back to Sanchez one last time.
Hmm.
So if if the Marlins were willing to trade him, because I don't think they have a ton of depth in the outfield to begin with, that means that they think he's a quad A guy, right? They think like what he's done, that's it for him. Like he's just a decent guy, maybe platoon
Yeah.
him, maybe he's out of baseball, that kind of thing.
They don't think he's going to turn into JD Martinez and all of a sudden be like, oh, I can't believe we let this guy go. But those guys, JD Martinez's do happen. But they don't, they're like, nah, the chances he'll become like a JD Martinez type. is like 5%.
I had the fourth pick yesterday in a NL draft, guys coming into the American League. So obviously Eugenio was one. I can't remember who else was in there. Merrill Kelly.
Yeah, the first baseman from Arizona.
Oh, yeah, Naylor. So those are the first three. So I had a choice between Sanchez, and in my mind, it was a choice between Sanchez and Ryan McMahon, and I chose Sanchez. So I don't know. I don't know. Like,
Sanchez is
Uh,
kind of like Eloy Jimenez without power. He's got some power. It just, he's not going to hit you a whole lot of home runs every year. And he does get hurt a lot too. Sanchez is always hurt.
so
yeah.
you would have gone McMahon being on the Yankees now?
Yeah.
I
I
would
had McMahon for a season and he drove me up a fucking wall.
I would look at my team and be like, what do I need more, a third baseman or an outfielder?
Yeah.
Because I think they're kind of it's kind of a toss up. I don't think either one's like, oh, so much better than the other guy. McMahon might get, yeah, he might be full time there. They might still platoon him or semi platoon him. You know, he's never going to get a DH role on that team. I think, but they have a lot of outfielders in Houston too. I don't know. This guy's got like he's hit the ball 117 miles an hour last year, 115 this year. Like Sanchez and his launch angle isn't bad. It's a little low, but he's at 9 this year. Yeah, sure. I'd like to see it at 15 for launch angle, but like that's decent. That's good. He doesn't strike out a ton. He like 20% strikeout rate this year. It's as low as he's had in his career. And he's walking like 9%. I mean, these are like league average numbers. So that's why he's at like I don't know,
Nine's even a little above, right? It's like
he's a little bit his WRC plus is above average, and which you'd expect from an outfielder. But when you look at all the projection systems, they all look at him and go, he has done a better job than what his stats show. They all say he's going to be better than that. I think just if you like Lourdes Gurriel, you'll like Jesus Sanchez.
he's on the gags.
They're the same dudes, you know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I just picked him up.
He's gagging.
What do you think of um uh
If you look
Brian
at
Hayes?
Sanchez's history, I've had Sanchez on my team probably like 10 times this year. I like him. Brian Hayes,
What do you
nah,
think about Brian
next,
Hayes going to the Reds? Because if you
next.
look at the last 2 years,
He's
he's
he's a he's
really
he's a he's a brat. He's
he's
a
a really
brat.
bad
He doesn't know
hitter.
how to tough it out. He's a brat. He doesn't he
You know what the beauty of it
plays with
is?
many injuries.
Beauty of it is now Noelvi Marte qualifies for right field because
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, I love that. That was nice.
I'm like, whoo,
What
because
do
I
you
like
think? I
Noelvi
mean, I don't
Marte,
think that
man. The guy can hit.
I don't think we
Yeah.
think of the Reds as being the smartest team around, but Cabrian is a really good fielder, and the past 2 years at least is a really bad hitter. Bad. But they were talking about him either in a podcast or on television, and they were saying like his exit velocity is good. And
Yeah, he's
he's kind
he's
of
like
got like the
Yandy Diaz.
he's kind of got like the Yandy Diaz problem where he
But they're not that good. Yandy's elite with his exit. He's like Yandy Light. Yandy
Yandy
Light is
like.
like you max out at 12 homers on a year, even in Great American Ballpark.
But if they're
I don't know.
saying if Cabrian could lift, you know, if the Reds are smart enough to develop and increase his launch angle, there could be a lot there. So I don't know,
And
but
also, it's like Jeff was saying about different organization. Different organization, you get different voices, you hear different
Yeah.
things. He might say something to you, and you've been hearing the same people say the same thing. And it might be a different version of the same thing those guys are saying, but this thing they said clicks in your head, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, now all of a sudden he hits 22 in a year.
or
And
maybe
he
Yeah.
does
just
steal bases.
or maybe just the jolt from like going from the team that you came up with to like, oh fuck, they didn't want me anymore. Like maybe that's a jolt. Maybe that'll help too. I don't know.
His
I love
OPS
like
this
Cabrian.
year,
I've had Cabrian a lot on my team.
His OPS is 575.
Was it?
His OPS is 575. He's brought it up
Yeah,
a little bit since right so far. He's at 750 with Cincinnati. The thing
Oh
is,
God.
exact thing as Jesus Sanchez. He's been with that team. This is his sixth year. He's with the team, and he gets traded in the sixth year. It's the same exact thing.
look at this is they're both similar in beer league. I love they're like those guys that guys are like, I'll take a shot at him, and then they're like, this guy sucks. He's been on wait till next year. Then he was on the Make McBrides. Then the Gaggers picked him up and dropped
Yep.
him. Then the Gaggers picked him up and dropped him. Then the Gaggers picked him up and dropped him. Then the Knockers picked him up and dropped
Three
him. Then
times.
Spear picked him up and dropped him. Then Bizzotti picked him up and dropped him. And now he is a platinum sombrero. Like it's like one of those guys, and it's Jesus Sanchez isn't as big, but he's one of those guys where everybody kind of believes they're like, yeah, but his dad can hit home runs. Why can't he hit home runs?
The only
You
reason I
know,
dropped Sanchez was because he was a platoon player.
It's like a prison bitch. Everybody just passes him around.
right?
Hayes was his performance, but Sanchez, if Sanchez was getting full time, he'd probably still be on the gags.
I'll be right back. I'll take it
I
off
had
this one for
Sanchez
you
on
guys.
my team 3 times this year, Lou. 3 times.
I've had him,
I
right?
had Sanchez. I did 3 times.
And
You
you
had
said
him
gags
one,
too?
two. You had him 2 times.
2 times.
It was play and then the gags and then sombreros. This is April. But at the end of April, he ended up on the Satch, his fourth beer league team. Then we go into May and the gags picked him up when Satch dropped the middle of the month. And then in June, when the gags dropped him, Satch picked him up and ran him for a while and dropped him. And then was like, you know what? Actually, you can come on back. And sent him another waiver deal. And he ended up on Satch again. And then the end of the month, Sombreros picked him up. And then a love affair with Sombreros came and went all through July as he dropped him 2 more times, taking you to the Holy Cows, picking him up on July 25th and dropping him the next day, and then picking up again Friday and
Who did that?
dropping him, and then dropping him again and on Friday. So
Who was that?
currently he
Me?
is on waivers. Jesus Sanchez.
But was it me
Jesus
that did that
Sanchez.
the next day?
What?
Who?
Jesus Sanchez. Cows picked him up for they picked him up for a Friday start because they needed somebody in the outfield or something, and then he dropped him 2 days later on Sunday. And he did the same thing at the end of July. Um, so now he's on waivers, Jesus Sanchez. I think he's a good player. It's just a matter of playing time, but he's like replaceable too.
For me, it was playing time because I didn't pick him up to just stream him or something. I picked him up as like he could be on my team the rest of the year. But then the Marlins platooned him, and I was like, God damn it. Because I even dropped McNeil, a week or two ago, or whatever.
Yeah, Jeff McNeil. Yeah,
Because and then they take a situation that was sort of tenuous, and then they add Cedric Mullins to it. So now you've got
right.
Beatty, Vientos, Mauricio, McNeil.
But they sent down Acuna, right? And do they still have Tyron Taylor?
I don't know, but how's he going to play? You're going to be a defensive replacement for Mullins now?
Yeah, no, Mullins is elite, right? As a defender.
Well, I don't know. This year, not so much.
No.
But and Mullins really, his OPS is like 660 or something this year. He's not like, I mean,
No, he's having a bad year.
Taylor's really bad this year. Taylor's OPS is in the 500s, but Mullins is not. I think Stearns is a smart guy. I would think that generally, but I think he's got bad taste in center fielders because he traded for Mullins, and I feel like if Mullins is the option, I would just have stood pat and the other one he got in the offseason was Jose Siri. Siri had like the lowest OBP of any qualified player last year, either the lowest or second lowest.
But I'll tell you this though, Stearns teams also have good defenders. Right. And they definitely have good defenders in center field. And one thing that happens with center fielders, I don't have the statistics to back it up, but I'm going to stand by it. Center fielders get hurt way more often than other outfielders. They're working way harder in center field, and center fielders get hurt a lot. They just do. Center fielders get hurt a lot. You want somebody to not get hurt, you put them in left or right. But center fielders get dinged up. So it makes sense to have it as a defensive strong position for your team and have two good guys that can play defense there. So I think it makes sense in Stearns' logic, it makes sense to have a defensive center fielder that versus like Byron Buxton. He's amazing defensively and a great hitter, but like guys get hurt a lot. Varsho gets hurt a lot. Great defender, pretty good hitter. Like center fielders get hurt a lot.
I can see
I don't
that
know.
because if McNeil, who got hurt, who and he has been hurt, or Taylor got hurt, then what the fuck would you do? You'd have McNeil out there every day in center. I mean,
Yeah.
God bless him. McNeil should be up in the running for that utility version of the Gold Glove because you can play him left, center, right, second. He doesn't play third
Yeah.
much now, but he can.
Acuna,
And he's at least average level at all those positions.
oh, and McNeil's been hitting, man. I know the thing is people look at his season long stats because he was hurt for like what 2.5 months to start the year or something.
McNeil wasn't hurt that much.
No, I'm just imagining it then. Because like I felt like he was hurt a lot to start the year, and so he didn't play like a full season of games. So his stats like look a little light. Like he only has 69 games started so far this year.
McNeil?
Yeah, but he's got 9 dingers, and his OPS is like really high. Like he's
Yeah.
kind of forcing their hand because he started doing it last year. In the stretch run, he started like swinging harder after the All Star
Right,
break.
right, right.
In the
He
stat
had
thing, he was the guy who's like, I'm gonna like, you know what? I'm not a contact hitter anymore. Now I'm a power hitter,
just
or
when he
I'm
was
a
going well, he
in
got
between guy.
hurt. He got a wrist
Yeah,
injury like beginning of September. Yeah, 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 yeah.
he's got a 344 WOBA, 125 WRC plus. I mean, that's with for a guy that strikes out only like 9.6% of the time
He's
this
got
year.
more walks than strikeouts this year,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
like that's a
such a
short
good
list of
benchmark.
guys. Not a lot of guys have that and have like 9 dingers in like 60 games. It's pretty good. That's like a 20 home run hitter. I don't know. He's very underrated, like, and all the defensive positions that you're saying. He's kind of doing like a Zobrist for them.
My brain is like going because I don't remember that McNeil didn't start the year.
Yeah, no,
And he's
I
like one of
had
my
him.
favorite players on the Mets. I like
You
Nimmo
know
and
if
McNeil.
a guy's hurt, you're like, yeah, well, then you think of it, if it's your favorite team, you think of him as a safety blanket that's coming back later. But when he's on your fantasy team, you're like, God damn it, why you hurt? um,
McNeil's probably been on a lot of teams too. I love looking at that history feature in Yahoo. Like I
yeah,
don't
that's great.
I just started doing it maybe this year or last year, but like it's good to like gauge like this guy's on waivers. Like, will he get picked up? Will somebody have bid in him? And then like you can see like the whole year it's like zero. It's like okay, maybe not.
No, it's fun
Maybe I'm the highest on him. Like
when a guy's been on 7 different teams, and multiple teams twice. I love it. It's great. It's just like they're like you can tell like everyone believes in this guy, but it's just something's holding them back, whatever it is. In Brian Hayes's, it's that he sucks. In Jesus Sanchez, it's because his team sucks and they were giving him full playing time. I don't know. And he was hurt a lot, but
do you look at that, Jeff? Do you look at the history thing, like on the player to see like which teams he's been on, how much people bid for him and fab and stuff?
Every once in a while, every once in a while. I don't look at it every time, but getting back to what you were saying, Phil, like center fielders get hurt a lot. This very possibly could be the last year for Ian Happ on the Cubs. Uh, I think
kind of
he's due.
sucks.
What's that?
He kind of sucks this year.
Yeah, but would you personally, if you were the one in charge, would you move Pete Crow Armstrong over to left field? And
No,
here's one of the things when
not in a
you're
million
what
years.
one of the things I was thinking about when you were saying that center field often, well, there's one factor that goes into that is they got two guys they can run into, not one, you know.
Hmm.
So I'm
Yeah,
sure that's going to have played effect. And also, they're also going back on deep balls and running into that fucking wall. Uh,
yeah.
um,
No, I
so
guess it. he's such a good hitter this year, but it's like the thing you can count on for the next 3 to 4 years from him is that his defense will be good. And yeah, he'll probably be hurt a lot. Over next year, whoever pays for PCA is going to regret it because he's a center fielder and he's going to be hurt. But this year, he'll have the most games. It'll probably be the best year of his career until they move him over to right field or something, and then he can just focus on hitting again.
How's his arm?
Good.
Question.
I have no idea.
I'm looking forward to. I'm really happy that the Cubs did not trade Owen Casey.
Yeah.
And now I feel like he's actually going to be in the Cubs lineup here in September, and he's probably going to be taking bats away from Happ, showing what he can do in left field.
And that's why you're happy that they kept.
Well, Happ has had a long career with the Cubs, man. And let's see, let me bring this up here.
But
I got an NL league that I'm trying to dump him in because, like, honestly, I need stolen bases in that league, and he's kind of like replacement level.
Well, he was the 9th overall pick in the first round, and he's been with the Cubs a long fucking time. But he's got a career OPS of 785, which is, I mean,
that's good. That's good. That's good.
It's good, but goddamn, if he ain't like getting worse. I mean, he's been dropping. His best years were his first 4 years, and then he signed that contract with the Cubs.
He's not bad this year. I mean, God, he's on the gags. He can't be that bad. But I mean, he's at 106, which for a left fielder is probably about average.
Yeah.
It's mediocre.
His average this year is he's a mediocre player.
Who's to say that he doesn't have his best 2 months of the year starting right now and brings that OPS plus over 110 by the end of the year, huh?
Yeah.
Ask yourself that, huh?
Well, here's another guy that can trade in the offseason too, with 1 year remaining on his contract. You actually might be able to get a couple decent prospects in return for him because he could help somebody out. It just, his best year was at his age 27. He's now 30, and he's not getting any better.
Trade him to the Giants.
That's somebody. Yeah, he's like a Mike Yastrzemski, to be honest with you.
That Heliot Ramos, the Mets faced the Giants 6 times recently, and I know he's a good hitter. He's definitely a good hitter. He's not a good fielder. And he, at least according to the 6 games that I saw, he's a dumb as fuck player, man. Like, he made so many boneheaded plays. It was like a season's worth, and I only saw him play for 6 games. I don't know what's going on with that guy, but he's a dumbass.
He's got a 1.2 WAR this year, so he's not helping that much.
The things that he did wouldn't be easily reflected in WAR, like
it was more base running mistakes and stupid shit like that.
Defensive stuff. I mean, he's
a young guy. He's only 25 years old.
He got thrown out at second on an infield fly rule.
I saw that.
It's like he didn't realize, like you can advance at your own risk. It's not a free thing,
Was that Nico Horner that did that to him?
No, I think it was against the Mets.
Well, that's okay. So that happened twice in like the last week or two, because Nico Horner pulled that on somebody else too. He let it drop intentionally, and then somebody tried to go from second to third.
Oh, maybe it wasn't against the Mets. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but anyway, I've seen a lot of Ramos in the past couple of weeks, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I know this guy can hit good, but he's dumb as fuck.
No, there has been a little bit of that, Jeff, that like calculus by the infielders, like which runner, the ball goes up in the air, it's an infield fly. Which runner with only a guy on first would I rather have on base?
Right.
So there was a little bit of that where they're like, oh, if I drop it, then I can get rid of like the fast runner.
But it's an infield fly rule. Batter's automatically out. You can let it drop. But what it does is it fucks the player up thinking, oh shit, I got to run now. and
Right.
they never had to run in the first place because it was the
Right.
infield fly rule.
Right. The guy's already out, so they get 2 outs
Yeah, well,
because
so
they tricked him.
basically just stay on the base. You don't have to go
Hmm.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Right.
Ramos got thrown out at second. I think it was against the Mets. Geez, I'm not 100% sure anything anymore. But so yeah, it was a double play. It was like,
But that
what do you
but
do?
that one was a soft pop up, where it's like they didn't call the infield fly on that one. Because there's been a few of them. I watched that not every day, but a lot. Apple TV has like a recap of all the big league games, but it's only the announcers, and they split in the radio and the TV guys. So depending on how many games there are, it could be like 40 minutes or like 20 minutes. But it's mostly home runs and strikeouts. But you get the local announcers, both radio and
That's
TV,
cool.
announcing, and the crowd noise. So it's a good flow. And they go like it's a quick summary, but there's no talking head trying to be all ESPN bobblehead doll in your face about how cool they are. It's like it's about the game. It's great. And in that one, I've been seeing those, and I'm like, what's going on with these plays? Because that's the one thing they don't. They'll show a replay on a controversial play, and they'll have the announcers kind of talk about what happened, and you get like both sides, like the Cleveland side and the Detroit side, or something.
Well, there was one where they got Ellie off of first. So I think Ellie was on first, and they exchanged a slower runner, which is basically everybody else, for Ellie based on that. Like they forced Ellie out at second. I can't remember the specifics too well, but it was recent. It was like since July 1st anyway.
But the thing is, but if there's a guy just on first, that's not an infield fly. If there's a guy just on first, you have to have on first and second or bases loaded for it being an infield fly. If it's just
Yep.
on first, the defense can make a decision to like drop it.
Yeah, so
It's
that's
not
what
a
it was. He let the ball
yeah,
drop, and he forced Ellie out at second because they figured
yeah.
like I'd rather have this guy on first than Ellie.
And if the runner and if the base runner is like lollygagging down the line, sorry, Lou, uh, you can potentially get more than that. Like it's a smart play. Your shortstop, like your second baseman, and the shortstop is like, just calls it. He's like, drop it, and like you just like boom, you just drop it and throw it to first. You're gonna get at least one out and maybe two. I mean, the infield fly, you got to have a guy on first and second for the infield fly.
Okay, yeah. So this wasn't an infield fly. It was just he decided to let it drop.
I love that shit though.
Got Ellie out at second.
That's why Javi Baez is exciting because he thinks about this weird shit. You're like, well, that's the rules, man.
When he started running back to home plate that one time and
Oh
got that
man,
guy all fucked
That was
up,
a
and then
great
that
play.
cost him his career. What was his name? Will something? Will?
not Will Salmon,
No,
not
it
Will
was
Clark.
first baseman.
I think it was will never play in this league again.
Yeah.
Pirates first baseman last year.
Will not be on this team
It
anymore.
was just last year, I think, right?
No, what was it? It was
No,
like
Baez been.
2000. Was that 2016 or 2017?
I
No, it
think
wasn't that
Baez has
long
been on the
ago.
Tigers now for 3 years. Baez has been on the
That's
That's
Tigers
when he
for
right.
was
like
on the
Yeah,
3 years.
Cubs.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a few years
It was
back. You
against
got
the
to go like
Pirates. Yeah,
2001 would be my guess.
21.
21. I do that all the time, man. I hate that
2001 would be a
decade
really
thing,
bad guess.
Yeah. 2001. Javi Baez was in his
That
mom's
was at
womb.
recess.
The thing is,
Hold on.
there's got to be
I'm gonna figure this
I
shit
have a
out.
challenge for you, Jeff. I have a challenge for you. Joke Master Jeff. I want a Javier Baez joke about coming out of the womb. There's a joke there somewhere with how he's like swims at the base paths and stuff. How many catchers or how many doctors did it take to catch Javier Baez when he was born? I don't know.
He's a confounding player because, like, in some ways, he's like the smartest player around. The way he like goes into bases defensively, even some of the decisions he's made defensively.
Yeah.
But
He's back to
his
being
approach at the
the
plate
regular.
is like is has been his bane. I mean, he's just
What's
All right,
kind of
here's
amazing
one.
is
When Javi Baez was born, the doctor didn't slap him; he slap tagged the doctor.
there it is, Joke
that's
Master
good.
Jeff. That's good. Well, it's pretty good, especially on short notice.
I
Respect.
was
I
looking
went,
I
good
knew I
for
was
a
asking the
second.
right
I'm
man.
like, God,
I
I
went,
thought you were staring off at the computer screen looking up Javier Baez stats. So I think the job so the former Astros manager is in Detroit now. That
yeah,
what's his name? The
Hinch, AJ Hinch.
Hinch, yeah, who was suspended for a year.
Right.
And he's working well, but he was involved in even hiring the GM. Like the owner Yelich was like Hinch and him figured out who to bring in as a general manager. So he's definitely like the organization runs through him at this point. And the way he handled Baez this year is pretty amazing. Bringing in that kid to start at shortstop because Baez was sucking so bad. He's like, I can't do anything against you, man. You got all the money in the world. You got this. All I can hurt is your pride. But I don't want to like make you look like a bad guy or like I don't want to be the bad guy. I don't want to turn the clubhouse. So I can just be like, man, you want to play, you got to earn it. I'll give you a spot. Hey, we got a spot in center. And he had him be like super util. Now Baez is their starting shortstop again. And he's not great, but I think he like Hinch got a lot out of Baez by like managing like his pride pretty well this year.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, whether or not you like Baez, even I guess I didn't really like Baez that much, but I've been all for his resurgence or whatever. He's been a good player.
I love watching him play. I just hated watching him strike out for the Cubs. he's fun to watch, and especially a highlight guy. But when he's on your team, man, those strikeouts. Woof.
In 2014, Sam and I went to a Mets game, Mets Cubs. I don't know if you remember that year too well, but neither team was doing anything. And Baez came up, so it was the first time maybe the only time I ever saw him in person. And he came up, and then Sam pointed to the stats on the scoreboard, and he said, "Look at that!" And it was because his batting average and his OBP were the same. I
Oh,
don't think he'd walked yet, and it was August. I don't know when he came up, but he didn't have a ton of at bats yet, and I think he might have walked. I think that was the funny thing. Like,
oh yeah, you're like whoa. You notice it, and then he walked. It's like wow,
hey, I
that's
found
great.
the guy who he fucked up one. He ran back to home plate and then got that guy throwing the third or second or whatever, and then he was
Oh yeah,
safe all the way around, and they threw the ball around.
who
That
was
was
it?
Will Craig.
oh, I don't remember him.
Yeah, he was a
Was he like on the Will Craig with a C?
yes.
What year was that, Jeff?
That was 2019.
Oh, geez, it was a
Oh
long
yeah, Will
time.
Craig is now playing in Japan.
Yeah, Will Craig was a first round pick for the Pirates. He was highly touted, 22nd overall pick from Wake Forest.
KBO now.
Those
Yeah,
Wake Forest players always disappoint. Didn't
Will
the Cubs
Craig.
take a first rounder from Wake Forest this year?
Yeah, the Cubs took a Wake Forest guy. Was that Ethan Conrad?
Yeah, you
Huh.
can't trust the guys with the two first names. It never works out. Connor Joe. Who else?
Yeah.
Will Clark. Will Clark.
Oh, Will Clark. Yeah, he was good.
Will Clark
Yeah, he
was
was
really
good.
good.
Um, Will Craig
Nolan
though, he's
Ryan.
also like to be a right-handed first baseman is a tough play.
Yeah.
Like batting right-handed.
Yeah.
Pete Alonso.
It's like yeah, you got to be really good. Most of them are bat left-handed, or they end up platooned. It's hard. You got to be really good to be a right-handed first baseman batting right-handed.
In this like single league that I'm in, I don't even look at right-handed batters now. I mean, I'll take a lefty, even a righty that's like got a platoon. As soon as he loses the platoon, then he's just a righty bat off the bench, which is the worst. The only thing worse than that is like you're out of the league or you're in the minors again.
Yeah,
At least the
that's a big
lefty bat,
zero.
he's going to get some at bats. So I don't even look at righty, because that's where we're choosing. In the beer league, we only choose starters basically, but in this league, like you do take guys that are on the bench, and I don't want any righty guys off the bench.
So, biggest ripoff of the year. I don't know where he went in beer league, but I think my nomination for the biggest ripoff of the year, non-injury division. He can be injured for a little bit, but not out for the year. Like injuries happen. But the guy you drafted who just sucked, that he was on Arizona last year as their DH, like for the left side, used to be a Dodger, and then Arizona signed him. Who's that guy? He was really good on Arizona, and he used to be a Dodger. Jock Peterson.
Oh yeah.
Texas.
Jock Peterson signed for Texas, and like he had a year last year. Like even though he only he very rarely plays the left hander, he would like pinch hit every game, and he was just killing it last year. And this year, he is like the bomb of bombs.
Yeah.
But like last year, I mean, the guy was really good last year.
I would have brought him
Well,
in.
that's been his
I love
travel ballot
Peterson.
career.
Yeah,
He's
that's true.
up and down.
He's a great guy to have on a playoff team, though. Like to have that lefty bat in there like that. But
He's been
like,
good for years. I mean,
did
if
he take off his necklaces? What was his deal with his necklaces and stuff
I don't know.
in
If
the
I
he's
hear
World
he
good,
talks
Series?
too much
he's a
trash in
great.
fantasy football.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. He
He's
got
been
in
a
the
great
fights, right?
player for so long until now. You know.
Tommy
So
Pham knocked the spit out of his mouth.
He's a red ass, huh? I can't. He's 33, but he's been in the league since 2014.
yeah, he's been good for a
11
long
years in the
time.
league, and he's 33 years old, man. Got up at 22.
Texas brought in Berger and Peterson, and I thought both of those moves were great
Oh yeah, everybody was
before
like,
the year started.
Texas is gonna have the best lineup ever. Texas is a softball team. They're a juggernaut. Wow, how'd that work out?
They could still make the playoffs, though. I mean,
They could.
they're close. If they hit at all, like anybody thought they would, you know. I didn't do predictions this year, but just gut wise, I was like, I think Texas will win the West, and that doesn't look as good now. So
Texas is a team too that like everybody bought bullpen guys, and Texas all year. The manager down there used to be in San Francisco. He's a really good manager.
Bochy.
Uh, yeah, Bochy. But Bochy's a guy who's like, yeah, I'll get by. He's not like sweating them to bring in like good relievers. He's just like he's fine. Just give me some arms. And then they had two good relievers and they got hurt. Jeff, you had one of them. AJ Puck was
Yeah.
SPRP and he
That's
got
Arizona.
dinged. And then Martinez, yeah, Arizona. Isn't that where Bochy's at now?
No, Texas.
Oh,
Texas.
Texas. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Arizona's the
Texas had nothing all year. They haven't had
Lavulo or whatever.
good relievers all year. I don't know but somehow they have a good starting pitching, decent starting pitching. They traded for a good starter, and they have a decent lineup, and yet their bullpen is still atrocious.
I've got Garcia. Maybe Martin might be hurt now.
I mean, who's
Leclerc
the
was hurt
closer for
all
them?
year. They brought in Coulomb, who I don't know what he's doing this year, but he's been an underrated reliever, you know, at least since last year anyway. I looked at he might be a lefty, right? I think Coulomb's a lefty.
Danny Cologne.
Yeah.
I hear he smells good.
I was waiting for it. I got a drawer here.
So Texas could still win that division. I mean, if the Astros fall apart, but of course, if they get Jordan back, that's looking a lot better. And of course, Seattle, if they get Bryce Miller back and they've added those two guys at first and third, they're looking better too. So
there's competitive teams. I thought, I mean, well, I don't want to keep going back to the Twins. I thought the Twins would like ride it out, and like they're kind of like we're done, and so some teams like bowed out like that. But I feel like the American League has like a pretty good race going on. Is it too early to look at wild card standings?
Well, I think
I
the American
mean,
League's more interesting than the National League now because in the National League, I think you only have 7 teams vying for the 6 spots, but in the American League, you got like at least 9 going for it. You know.
oh my God, I was like, wow, I didn't even get stoned, and yet okay, somehow I put in wild card standings and 2024 came up. I was like, the Baltimore Orioles? What? Last year, Orioles, Royals, and Tigers, with the Mariners looking on the outside looking in. And yeah, who we got this year? Red Sox, Yankees, and Mariners. With the Rangers like a game and a half back, and the Guardians again do nothing, 2.5 back.
Yeah, I guess nine's pushing it. I said nine, but that's going down to Tampa.
No, Tampa can make a run. They kind of are like they're always just playing for ever.
But in the National League, I guess if you want to include the Marlins, that would be eight. But I really think it's more like Cincy, you know,
You can't
Cincy's the
include the
only team that
Marlins,
could.
I don't think. I don't think you can include St. Louis either. And I think San Francisco like said they when they trade away bullpen pieces,
Right.
they said what they were doing too. So I
Yeah.
think Cincinnati's really the only guy on the outside looking in who's still racing in my mind.
Yeah. So
And they got a
National
long
League,
ways to go to catch like the Reds 3.5 games back.
National League probably just seven going for the six spots, maybe eight with Miami. In the American League, if you go down to Miami for the National League with eight, then you've got to go down to Tampa for American League. So that's 10, right? Is that 10?
Yeah. But the Angels are still acting like they're playing for it.
Yeah.
That's the Artie Moreno experience. Like, yeah, we're 4 games under, but like, let's just go for it. They're always trying, They're
I
like the
feel
forever going for it team.
I feel bad, but I think my GM style is probably closest to like the Angels or something,
Would you
like
rather be the Angels or the Twins
why are
as
you
a
why are
fan?
you why are you making these moves? Like, that guy, yeah, he's just mediocre, That's what the Angels sort of do, like I want to bring in Ramon Urias. Why? I don't know. He's good.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should sell off like, Kenley Jansen or something, and get something to build up. Oh, I don't know. I think we could. I think we still got a shot. I don't know.
You know what guys never bring up though? Like this kind of drove me nuts during this trade deadline. It's like most writers and people mentioning trades, they forget the 10 and 5 clause. If you've been with a team for 5 years or in the league for 10 years, you have the right to refuse a trade. You don't need a no trade
Ah,
clause. Like that's
yep.
in your contract. If you're so Ian Happ, he can refuse a trade because he's been with the Cubs for 5 years.
Yeah, but he hasn't been in the league 10.
No, I thought you had to be 5 or 10. It's just either or.
I think it has to be 10 years in the league and 5 years with the same team, both.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. So then he doesn't count, but Kenley Jansen had it. It doesn't have to be your current team though. He was with the Dodgers for more than 5 years. He can refuse a trade anywhere.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I maybe I'm maybe I'm just wrong, but that was my understanding. It was like the 5 and 10 was like a negotiated thing for like MLB.
What did you think of
Anyways,
what did you think of Mason Miller with the Padres? Because I thought that
I
was
think I'm going to get holds from him from here on out instead of saves.
oh, you know what? You're right, Jeff. Sorry. I'll wrap that up. I'm just because I was totally wrong. If you have 10 years of major league service and you have played with your current team for 5 seasons, then you can veto. So
Yeah.
it doesn't come into play that often.
oh,
So
see, I
I
didn't know
stand
that
corrected.
before tonight, so that's
But
good.
Yeah.
but anyways, sorry. But it doesn't happen very often. But sorry. What were you saying about the
Oh, I was saying that like with the Padres, I understand bringing in the Orioles. Who did they bring in? O'Hearn and
yeah. And
Laureano.
Ramon Laureano,
Yeah, I understood that.
who's had a resurgence since he was signed with Atlanta last year
But
from Houston,
the Mason Miller
Texas.
thing just seems weird. Like I know that they're saying they're going to shorten the game with their bullpen, but Miller, they gave up this DeVries guy or whatever. I can't.
Yeah. Leotis
Yeah, Lee
DeVries.
notice.
Yeah.
And Miller is such a, even though he's not starting, so he's not throwing those kind of innings. Like he's like a real high probability candidate to get hurt, right? I mean, he throws damn hard. And I don't know. It just seems like I don't know. Maybe Preller's not even looking at it beyond this year, because he figures by the time that the bill comes due, I won't be the GM here anymore anyway. But
You might flip them.
Yeah, there's questions on DeVries too, like that he might be one of those guys who like just isn't like learning contact skills. So like, like and remember, okay, so here's a good analogy. So Jerks and Profile, right? How many years in a row was he like the number one
yeah,
prospect,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And he turned out to be a pretty good defender when he was young and pretty shitty hitter. And then like later on, he got to be a decent hitter with the help of performance enhancing drugs. But if you don't like truly learn the skills, I could see that Preller was with Texas when Profar was there. I could see him looking at DeVries and saying, "This is like a Profar type. He's got all the skills, he's got all the flash, but we've seen him. We asked him to improve these certain things. He hasn't improved on them. He still might be really good, but like it's okay to flip him. You know?
and even
I
from
don't
the
know.
A side, they're like they might think those things too and be like, well, it's still worth a shot. We don't need an elite closer right now, and he could be an injury just waiting to happen. So
Yeah, they could agree and make a trade. You don't have to. You don't. I mean, every time I propose a trade to somebody, I do it on the understanding that we have the same thoughts on players. Otherwise, no one will ever try to make a trade with you again if you try to rip them off. So, like, just be like, I think this guy's good, but I need this and you need that. So let's try to trade. Or you need something now. I need something now. You need something later. And I think that's what the same thing MLB teams are doing. They're like, yeah, we have the same general. There's some diamond in the roughs where guys want to take them from other organizations, but like mostly they kind of have the same opinion on everybody.
I think it's
So
not.
here's your top prospect rankings right now, currently.
Yeah.
Connor Griffin.
You know what? I've heard of so many of the other guys in this list. I don't know who Connor Griffin is.
I think he was drafted this year, right?
Oh, okay.
Was he?
Yeah. I think I think he's new to this list and like surprised that Colorado's top pick isn't higher up too, but
I know everybody else on the list. I mean, somewhat at least by name, but Connor Griffin, I do not, and he's number one.
yeah, I think he's like if you put him into Yahoo, he doesn't exist.
I don't understand why Chase Burns is still on this list. He's
Yeah,
been
that's
up for
No,
a while.
I'm wrong, man. Connor Griffin's on Let's Play. Chase Burns, yeah, right. Is he hasn't used up his eligibility.
Yeah, maybe he hasn't played in enough games. Maybe you have to play in 10 games. He hasn't had 10 starts.
No, I think after you get a certain number of starts, you're not on this list anymore. I think he
Yeah.
might not be on it because he's done too many games. But
Bryce Eldridge is interesting. 6'7",
yeah.
240, and he's a left-handed big ass motherfucker. That's like Adam Dunn.
so he's a Satch guy, right? Um, and I picked him and Kurtz. I was like, well, big slugging first baseman who can take a walk. This is a great thing for the beer league. So I got lucky on Kurtz. I didn't know anything more than anybody else. Just was up there in the list. I thought about the same as him as Eldridge. But now Devers is over there, and so what is Eldridge going to come up as a DH?
No,
Or are they going to split it? Is it going to be Eldridge does first base
no.
sometimes and Devers does first
Devers will
base
be the
sometimes?
DH.
He's
I
only
mean, if they
20
want
years
to give
old.
somebody a rest,
But honestly, Eldridge is so bad in the field that I think Devers might be a better defender than
Eldridge is
him at
bad, so
first base.
it's Kurtz that's good because I remember one of them.
Kurtz is pretty good, but yeah,
I
I mean
heard one of
Eldridge
them
was
was
hurt a
really
lot
good.
this year too. Eldridge was hurt a lot this year, so but his fielding is I don't know, but he's huge. He's a giant monster at first base.
Well, they could have Eldridge versus Devers contest. Who's the best hitter and who's the worst fielder? It'd be interesting.
Yeah,
I hit a
he's
homer. I made two errors. Oh, I can do better than that.
Here's the guy right here that the Cubs got Michael Bush for. So they got Michael Bush, but the Cubs traded Zaire Hope over to the Dodgers, and immediately
Yeah,
he shot up the rankings.
that Dodger system's good, man. They know how to identify guys. Freeland's interesting. I He's one of those guys that like who's gonna play in that infield? Are they ready to flip their infield out? Because like he saw Kim, Hae-Sung
Mhm.
Kim, whatever his name is, he's injured, but Freeland's good. But is he ever gonna play?
That's the question.
But yeah. Do you think the Cubs sign Tucker?
I guess not.
I don't know.
I think the fact that they gave Jetta an extension gives him a little freedom to not sign Tucker. It's like not so urgent.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's got job security. So even if he doesn't sign Tucker, a team's still his for a while.
It's unfortunate because Tucker really is good and he's all around good.
He is, but
But
he's not.
there's this calculation though. You bring Tucker in, and you might get now Tucker could go to like New York or LA. He could go to a big market, but in Houston, he's probably not getting the same marketing deals he's getting in Chicago,
Right.
even though they're similar sized cities. I would think in Chicago, like you have that idea of like, well, you also have this passive income for the rest of your life because you're a Chicago Cub and you're really good. Where it's like, I don't know if that's like that if you're a Houston Astro at the same level. But I don't know. That's kind of my like take on those. Kafis, he jumped up the fucking rankings. CJ Kafis for the Guardians. I think they just called him up actually. They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called up Kafis because he was on such a run, kind of like that year that George Springer had, where he wasn't like in the prospect ranks, but he was just like destroying the minors. He was like a 2020 guy at the All-Star break. And it was like everybody in the prospect list was like, yeah, too much swing and miss. But yeah, Kafis was I don't know. I never know in Cleveland their outfield, man. That's another team that never seems to know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, I know what I mean, they do know what they're doing. They're trying to keep their payroll a certain amount so they can earn a certain amount of profit. They want to be decent and in the runnings so that they feel like they have a shot every year, but they're never going to go for it. They just want to be a consistent winner. They want to be the 10th best team in the league every year. You see that stat about the Guardians over like the last 3 years where they had that 50-50 record?
No shit.
Yeah, I have to look it up. It was crazy. It was like they were exactly 500. Um,
That's pretty accurate, though. It's like they say these people are supposed to come up in 25. A lot of these guys have. And recent, too. Like Bryce Matthews, he's been up already this year.
some of the
McKay,
guessing is like they're gonna go Rule 5. So if they're good enough, they want to see what they look like before the Rule 5 draft, right? On a certain team, but they don't get everybody up before the Rule 5. Some of that they know, and then sometimes they're like, you could tell this guy's really good. He's going to play AAA this year, AA this year, and then next year it'll be AAA or get called up, right?
Well,
There's Chase Petty.
word to the wise. My experience with those ETAs is they are too conservative because I don't want to deal with a guy that's getting called up during the year. I want to try to trade him in the off season if possible when I have more time to formulate a deal. Don't have to do it on the fly.
Yeah,
And I've had, I don't know, half a dozen times past couple of years where, you know, the ETA is the following year, but he gets called up that year.
Lou. Let's talk about Jacob Mizorowski. All right, let's talk about Jacob Mizorowski, who like you were basically auctioning for the most um, beer league bucks in the auction next year. I think
And
you
it
got
was only
two
three
for him.
bucks,
You got three. No,
which,
hey,
which I
not
waste.
dismissing it.
I
I know he's on the injured list now, but like this kid looks like a stud. You gotta kind of wish you kept him, right? I mean, 2.94 ERA,
I
0.96
don't.
WHIP.
I don't wish I kept him. I don't know. I couldn't. I mean, unless if I figure something better out, then I'll do it. But like
What
Mizorowski in particular, you know, not that this was the reason. I mean, I just don't trust guys until they've had a track record. And I do look at like the equivalencies from the minor league. I like to look at those. But I've actually found that with hitting, I do use those minor league equivalencies, but with pitching, it's just like what
doesn't
they've done in the
matter.
minors, it just doesn't translate, at least not much.
No, it doesn't.
But Mizorowski in the minors had a walk rate in the low teens. I
Hmm.
mean, it was really high. And I'm thinking like there's no way that it's going to be lower in the majors because the hitters in the majors are smarter. Like if you're going to throw them shit, they're like, fine, I'm not going to swing at that. So I have been really surprised that so that's a better way to frame it. Not like do I wish I kept him, but just like am I surprised at how well he's done? I'm very surprised because
I mean, I am too. If I'd known, I would have given you $2 more and got him instead of Chris. But I was like, you know what? Nah, like I don't know either. Like I had the same thoughts. He's a kid. He could blow out his arm. He gets sucked right when he comes up. I had no idea about him, and I was like, it's not worth like losing money in the auction.
and
But
it's not
but what
even
about the other
predicting,
guys you traded?
but it's not even predicting will he be good? It's like will he be good right away?
Yeah, which
And
is
I
very
thought I thought
unlikely.
Mizorowski was a perfect candidate to not be good right away. And like I said, I don't. It wouldn't have changed anything anyway. It's not why I did it. But if you're asking me if I'm surprised at how well he did right off the bat, yes, I
Yeah, me too. Me too.
am.
No, and I'm not trying to pick on you about it, but
No, no,
I
I
do
don't
think
take offense.
I do think it is a liability for you in the league to tell everybody like, hey, if Lou has a guy coming up or a prospect, he has zero value for him. So you can get him cheaper from Lou than anybody else. If you have a
Right.
top prospect, you can get him from Lou for like pennies on the dollar. Because you
Well,
tell
I'm
everybody,
gonna
Exactly.
I'm gonna put it out there though. I mean, like I'm gonna do comparative bidding.
yeah, no, you let people know, but you also do that thing where you're like, but just so you know, I'm just gonna drop him otherwise.
Well,
And you're like, that's sort of like cutting your own market out a little
no,
bit.
but I mean, it's honest. I mean, it's true. I mean, I don't have any leverage. I mean,
Is your roster so good that you can't float a guy for a week and see
I
and
could
watch
float
it
for a
two
week, but
starts out of him?
as soon as I need to make a move, then I'm probably gonna have to because I can't make any moves unless I move them off the NA.
Yeah, where you could say like I'm looking to move this guy, or I'm gonna see how he does, and then you could be like, all right, you might get offers and be like, hey, you still want this guy for that? If you're about to drop him,
I
I
mean,
don't
the
know.
other way, yeah, if I'd waited a week, I would have gotten more auction dollars for him. But the other way to look at it is like he could have come up and walked 7 guys in 4 innings, and
You got
I would have got
nothing.
nothing
No,
for him.
you got three in the hand, right?
So I don't know. I
Three
mean,
in the hand, three
to
in the
me, I just
hand.
look at it as like it's just like found money, right? It's like um, I don't know anything about prospects, so I'm just following a list. I have to make sure I have 10 of them, and then if one
No,
of them
and
hits,
Lou, I totally agree with you on that. That's why I didn't bid up. But I had to ask myself, did I make a mistake on that? Because we had talked about it, and you were like, "Hey, you want to go up a buck?" And I've done that in other leagues where I'm like, "Hey, you guys are the two top teams. I'm so and so's offering me this. You want to give me better?" I just tell them like, "This is what my offer is from this guy. Do you want to do better?" I think that's totally fine to do if somebody's like,
yeah.
"They're offering me this," and usually guys will be like, "Nah, I'm good." Sometimes we'll be like, "Yeah," and then you get something better. I don't end up doing that in beer league very often because it's hard to make a deal as it is. But damn, Dad's did a big deal with. Oh, you guys talked about it last week for sombreros. Oh yeah, okay,
Oh
that's
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I was looking at wanted to see your trades because we trade a guy before the season.
Probably. I don't know if I'm going to make
Uh,
any trades because I think the only one that I had in mind to trade was Logan Gilbert, and he's kind of like done like so so. But if he has like a couple of 3 good starts in a row, then I think I'll trade him. But
so here's our trades this year. Ready? Baldwin for Newbar.
Who Baldwin? Oh, Drake Baldwin for New.
Now, New Bar ended up sucking. I think of highly more, and I didn't know Baldwin would be any good. I just thought I wanted 2 weeks of a guy while I was waiting for the other catcher there to heal. So that's all I did with that. And I was like,
Baldwin was
New
starting the
Bar was
year.
like he was on the fence for me. So
Baldwin was starting the year until Murphy got back, but Baldwin did well, and then they had them both on, and now they're Baldwin's getting a
yeah,
good amount of time.
it's weird. Azuna's sitting sometimes. It's weird. He's just not.
I
He's
dropped
sucking again.
Ozuna.
All right, here's this one. How about this one? Torkelson and Spencer Torkelson and Teoscar Hernandez for Shea Langoliers, Ryan O'Hearn, and Merrill Kelly. Wait, I had fucking Shea Langoliers? That's not right. No, I'm sorry. It was Chris Sale for Torkelson and Henderson. Chris Sale
Oh,
for
for
Spencer
Torkelson
Torkelson and
and Henderson.
Teoscar
Okay,
Hernandez.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that's still a fair trade in retrospect, right? It seems fair. Um, what we did. We did
I thought it was because I wouldn't
I
have done.
think yeah. What else? We did Ryan O'Hearn and Mikhail Garcia for Alec Bohm.
Oh, that's not too good.
You didn't want O'Hearn as a platoon guy and Garcia. And I was like, Garcia's doing well, but Bohm was playing every day. Bohm's hurt now.
He's a bum.
And the
I think
fence
I
guys,
traded. I think I traded two of those guys, or one or two of those guys, to Norm and got Langoliers. Like O'Hearn is gone, and what was the other one? Oh, Teoscar and who? And Torkelson. Torkelson I traded too.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's true. You trade them to Norm for something or another.
Langoliers and
Langoliers, yeah. You got back Langoliers, O'Hearn, and Kelly. This is a thing that is definitely tried and true in every league. When a guy trades for a guy, it doesn't necessarily mean they like him as much as the guy they drafted. They like the guys they drafted more than the guys they traded for. They're way more likely to trade a guy that they traded
right,
for because
right.
they're like, he's not really my guy. He's not one of my dudes. Like, so they're a guy will flip a guy, a team will trade for a guy, and you're like, I wish I got that guy. If you send him an offer, they might be like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I'll cash in on him.
Have
Whereas
you
if he's your draft day guy, you're like, I believe in this guy. I put a lot of time thinking about it.
have you traded with Jeff this year or off season too?
No.
No, we haven't done any. Yeah, still stinging on that deal from last year, that Cal Raleigh. That was my own hubris
I
trading
think I
Cal Raleigh.
traded. I think I've traded with Jeff, but he's a tough trader. So
Yes, he gets a good deal, which is
Well, I
nothing
give a
wrong with
good
that.
deal too.
Yeah, you want a fair trade. We just have different
That's
evaluations on
that
guys.
that's how you got with Schwarber, so I don't want to hear it.
For Raleigh,
No, you got Schwarber the year before or 2 years before. You've had
yeah,
Schwarber for a while now.
yeah, flipped him around. Yeah, no, I don't think anybody's particularly like better or worse at making trades than anybody else. You don't
No,
end up
you
in a
never know
in a
what's going
league
to
making
happen.
any deals if you're like always ripping people off. You know,
I think I've
it's just
traded with you, Chris, and Norm the most. Jeff a few, maybe Kimmler. Can't remember. I can't remember all of them. Maybe Sean. I don't know.
I think that's the first deal I've actually made with Sean was like the last that couple weeks back. I've
yeah,
made
that
one
was
really big.
I don't like trading isn't like it's not the heartbeat of the league, but for me, it's like I love the trades. I just love them, even if it's a straight challenge trade. Like I think this guy's going to be better than that guy. And it's just one for one. Like they're just fun. I just I don't know why. I love seeing anybody making trades. I love making trades. I'll make a trade even though I don't think I'm getting the best deal just because I want to make a trade. That was a good trade. I mean, yeah, you lost Barger and Prospect Montes
Well, I had to make it
and Chase
fair.
Burns.
Well, it wasn't
Yeah.
Montez; it was just Savage that got switched back.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, because I
So
was
I
like,
did
damn,
not
that
lose
is a lot.
Montez.
You really wanted Boyd, right?
Yeah, it was
So
Boyd,
you're like,
and then I got Isaac Collins, and then I've got Celestin.
Yeah. But Boyd was the guy you wanted, right?
Yeah,
The other
I
guys are
needed
balancing
pitching.
out the deal. Yeah.
And here's the
Boyd was good,
thing:
man.
all three of those people I traded, I picked up off the waiver wire this year. I didn't even draft them; they were available. I grabbed them and turned it into Matthew Boyd.
That's nice.
Yeah. It's always nice. It's still there's still enough stuff going on the waiver wire in this league that like you gotta watch it. You gotta I try to once at one point during the day look and see who's on the waivers for that night and just to see. I try to do it at one point during the day. Hey, who's on waivers tonight? Just to see. And sometimes guys sneak by and you're like, get
Oh
mad at
yeah,
yourself. You're like, how did that guy get through?
That's
yeah,
why I mean I'd rather
that happens a lot.
that's why I'd
Yeah.
rather not shorten the waiver period. I mean, the Yahoo default is 2 days, and we had it was at 4 days until maybe 10 years ago. And I think Jeff was one of the proponents of getting it down to 3 days, which makes sense because if you stream a pitcher, you drop them the next day.
I
At three
remember that
days,
argument. It was because Phil and Steiger everybody was on waivers because Phil and
but
Yeah.
Steiger were picking everybody up and there wasn't a cap. And you were
you get a
right. I
pitcher, you
mean,
drop them the next
but three
day.
is good.
A 3 day waiver period, you can pick him up for his next start. So it is kind of good. But I liked 4 days because I was thinking of like the longest weekend possible, a 3 day weekend. I was like, you could check the stuff on Friday, and then you'd be guaranteed that you go back to work on Tuesday and you wouldn't have missed a waiver period yet. So that's a long waiver period. But I was doing it
Yeah,
out of laziness, not being so tethered to like checking the waiver wire.
but you always say you want people to be more invested in the league, and so that being more invested in the league is like having a shorter waiver wire period,
I
which is like
guess.
why you changed it.
Yeah.
Match
Well, I
your logic.
mean, something like that, I'll change it if that's what people want. I mean, I prefer it to be four, but I certainly
You
don't want it
would
to be
still.
two. But if everybody else wanted it to be two, then we would do two, and I would just adjust. But I think that's a little quick.
I think three is good. It's a nice flow.
I mean,
Guys aren't on there forever, but you know.
you leave your computer on Friday, you go out and party, and you do something Saturday, and then you don't check it Sunday. You could lose out on a Eugenio Suarez being dropped or something.
On a 2 day, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's quick.
But on a 3 day, 3 day is fine.
3 day, yeah. Just as long as you check Monday, you'll be all right.
There's a chance one of those days is an off day for the team too. There's 3 days is good.
Yeah, the holy cows have already dropped Jesus Sanchez.
I know he's on waivers. That's what I'm saying. It's going. That's one of those stats. I wish if I could program AI, I'd ask it to do really dumb stuff like that. Like you know, save the stuff at the end of the year, and then who was the guy that had the most drops in a year, adds and drops.
Jesus.
Get barely.
I looked at fantasy alarm because I thought maybe it would be like an alarm for when games are starting, which I really want. If I could have like an alarm go off my phone 15 minutes before the start of every game, it would save me so much grief. But
You know what? I
that's not
started
that's
about
not
a month ago after we talked about this, Lou. I started doing that in my phone. On Tuesdays, I have an alarm that says set your MLB alarms, and that alarm goes off, and then maybe I'm in the middle of something, but at some point I'll go through and look when the first pitch is each day, and just set an alarm for each day for
Oh
half an
yeah,
hour
I don't want to
beforehand.
do it
Because I
myself.
was getting so pissed at myself for messing it up that I was like, you know, it doesn't take much. And you know what I realized? I haven't changed it now in 3 weeks, but they're generally the same. Basically, you just need a reminder on Mondays, on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays to get your ass up.
Well, today
Wednesdays
I
too.
had like
You don't have to worry about Tuesdays. You don't have to worry about Fridays except Cub
Brian
games.
Reynolds didn't
You
start for the
know,
Pirates. They had an earlier game. There was a game maybe today. I don't know. I thought maybe it started at like 11:30 or something even. I don't know
yeah.
if it was a makeup game, but I was like, God, the NFL, it's so much better than MLB
No,
with this respect because the games
I don't
start
think
at the
it's
same
better.
time.
I like having to go look at the lineups. It keeps me
Dude,
involved in the game.
it was Sunday. It was Atlanta versus Cincinnati, I think, or Atlanta versus
Oh, it was the
somebody.
makeup from the previous day or
Yeah,
something.
but
Yeah.
what it said when I got up and checked, it said there was no game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, fuck, maybe they're just gonna play a doubleheader the next time they play each other and shit. And then they played.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, fuck, I didn't even have those guys in the lineup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking piss me off.
Here's the
No,
thing
those,
too, like whenever a pitcher, because I don't follow the rotations for every team and every player. When a pitcher has a double header and he doesn't have the green, circle or whatever, that could just mean that he's going to start the second game. So like any double header pitcher, I just put him up because I've been burned with that too. Like, it wasn't like he was going to start and then the first game started, I can't move him up and he's actually starting the second game. So like that sucks too. So
Yeah.
I do a lot of like double. I don't totally double check it, but I do a lot of double checking Yahoo. They're not the best. They get a feed, I think, from RotoWire and from Roto
Mhm.
World. I don't know which one they
Well, they're not
default
as
to.
fast. I go on like Roto Grinders or whatever, and for the starting lineups, they'll have the
Roto
player
Grinder.
starting already in there, and you go on Yahoo and it's still up in the air.
You go
So
on Roto Grinder? Is that like the
Yeah,
baseball a baseball like website for gay people?
it's I don't know.
so
Like, the
I
thing is
think
DraftKings. I don't know, but
you get it's
it's their
JOI with
name.
spreadsheets.
But what sucks for me is like I will check Yahoo whenever I can think of it on the weekend at work. Whenever I think of that, like I should check. And inevitably, like today, I got home from work or something. I just forgot to check, and then I think it was maybe it was late. Maybe it was late in the afternoon, but I missed out on Reynolds wasn't starting, and I could have moved somebody up. For as many times a day as I check, it's amazing how much I miss. When it comes down to it.
Yeah, because you check it at a weird time. You check it at like 10 a.m. There's not a game till 6 p.m. And you're like, well, I did check. I set the lineup, but then all of a sudden it's like 6:15, and you're like, oh, all the games were 6:05, and then this guy, yeah, no, I mean it's just part of the
I
deal.
want the fantasy alarm. I want my phone to go off 15 minutes before any game is going to start in MLB.
If you wanted something that like actually looks at your Yahoo roster and tells you, hey, this guy is sitting today. Do you want to replace him?
Yeah.
But if you turn that alert on in Yahoo, you get an alert for every single thing that happens in the league. It tells you like when I scratch my nose. It tells you when Jeff picks his ass. You're like, I
It
just want to
must
know
be
about
going
my
up a
team.
lot.
As long as there's no video.
Right. But no, it's like you can't just you get alerts, but there's no like, oh, I just want alerts for this. Uh yeah. That's really what you want is it's just to be like, hey, Lou, this guy's sitting today. You should do something.
I mean,
That's
we've
one
got
that's
to,
one step away from having a bot do it for you.
but it's got to be a
But
pretty doable app. I mean,
right.
if
What's the
it doesn't
legality of
even
that in this
exist yet.
league? What if somebody wins and they were like, AI did my whole team all year? Do we
I've
have
been
an
really,
AI clause in the league?
I've been really curious to see like, will there be AI baseball projections? I've typed in the search, and I haven't seen that yet. But wouldn't that be amazing? Like, we're still humans looking at these advanced numbers and stuff like that.
Right.
But like AI, maybe they could parse it like, oh no, 2 years ago his KBB rate was this, and then this year, like that kind of thing. Like they could like, you know,
Right. That
find
would be honestly like that's what makes me really sad to even contemplate. If like a computer program like beat me at fantasy baseball, but it probably could do now, but it would just be like, but like beat me all the time, you know. Hey, if the computer guys didn't get hurt and mine did, so be it. But if I got beat all the time by the computer, that would hurt. It would hurt. It's
but
about the
see,
nuance. It's about the knowledge. It's about
I don't think the
knowing
computer
the
would
ins
be
and
able to beat.
outs.
I don't think the computer would be able to beat what you do, but I think the computer might be able to come up with better preseason projections.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But like what? No, like I even figured out what that nearly half of the league takes place after auction. Half
Yeah.
the it was like 46% maybe or 50. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it was, but it was maybe it was 46%, which seems so high, right? You think like it's all decided after the offseason retention and the auction. So much of it is after that. Half of it is after that, nearly half. And
If you get rid of the NA guys, we draft how many guys? 30?
360,
But we end up with
390,
30 guys
390.
leaving, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
If we're getting injured guys and NA guys, you have 30 guys, right? To me, I go in the auction like I want 23 players. And those last seven spots are like, we'll see if this guy takes off or if he gets the leadoff role or if he's good off the gate. But those last seven are just like lottery tickets. I
Yeah.
spend the money on the 23. The last seven is like you got to be able to rotate your guys and like make a move. If you love every player on your roster coming out of the auction, then you're hamstrung. You can't make a move for all of April. You miss out on a lot of dudes
Yeah.
like Tyrene Paris. Oh wait, never mind. He
I think
sucks.
I do think I thought about this, and I do think that that is like a flaw in my approach. That I'm with my 30th player, I'm taking what I think is the best player available for my 30th player. But really, what I should be thinking about is like who has the highest upside. Like your first pick, your most expensive guy, or your first round draft pick. That's got to be the safest pick. That's got to be the guy with the highest floor around.
Mhm.
And then it gradually goes down to where you're at the 30th pick or player, and that guy, that's all upside there, because there's no risk. If he sucks,
Right?
you just drop him for the guy that was the very next player on your list, probably.
But and everybody does that. I'm just saying, like the cutoff. You got in your mind have that cutoff of like how many guys do I need that are like these are my guys, and then after that, be like I'm dropping this guy after one day. Like I just want his start the opening day against Cleveland or something. You know, I don't have that many of those. Mostly those spots are all like IL stashes. We all do that. You take an IL guy and stash him. You think Roki Sasaki will be any good? Speaking of IL guys, what's that, Jeff?
Oh, you're on mute or something.
Am I? You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can
Oh,
hear
there
you
you are.
now.
There you are. There you are. Got
I
you
say,
now.
why you want to trade for him?
I just wonder. I mean, he had so much hype in the off season, and he was so good.
He's actually working his way back. He's scheduled to face hitters at the Dodgers complex in Arizona this weekend. So he may play this year, but he may be a pickup for next year.
Yeah, I have him in another league. I traded for him, and it was a really dumb trade. And the guy beating me is the guy I traded for him from. So I'm like
Uh,
really pissed at myself for it. So I'm like, please, Roki, just come back and like give me like five good starts in the year or something. 'Cause,
I've
yeah,
got Tyon, who's actually doing rehab starts right now on the IL, and I have Michael King, who is also uh,
God, Michael King,
Michael King
forgot
might
about
be
him.
back this week, actually.
San Diego, right?
Yeah,
Used to be on the Yankees.
yep.
They're
He's
going
a
to get
pretty good
Cortez
starter.
back this week too, right?
Who else?
So
Cortez.
that'll be
Yeah,
helpful getting those two guys back if they can pitch when they come back.
So is their
yeah.
rotation Cease, Darvish, Sears, Cortez, and
I think
King?
Sears might not be in the rotation once all those guys come back. Um, I'll tell you what their next set coming up is. Um,
I thought Cortez was on the Brewers.
they traded
They
him at the
traded him to the
deadline,
Padres, but he's been hurt all year.
Oh,
so they started Sears tonight, and then they got Darvish. They got Pavetta. Pavetta's who we're forgetting.
That I forgot about for
Nick
that.
Pavetta, and then Cortez, Cease, Sears, Pavetta. But then King, when King comes back, you got King,
Sears will
Cease,
probably go to the
Pavetta,
bullpen.
Cortez, and then it's either Sears or Darvish. I guess it's Darvish at that point as your fifth starter. That's not bad. You Darvish as your fifth starter.
When King comes back, who would lose their job?
Sears would
Sears.
probably go to the bullpen.
Yeah, you got Pavetta, Cease first, then Pavetta. I would rank him, and then probably King, then Cortez, and then Darvish is the fifth guy, and then Sears is like probably goes to the bullpen as a lefty, follows Darvish a lot of games.
Because the Padres are short on bullpen arms, so like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, right. Because they need another arm down there. They should have traded for a stud
Sears will be so
closer
excited to be
to
like the
go with
seventh
their.
man in the bullpen.
Don't they have
I
the
could
league
see
leader in
Sears
saves
being
right
part of like
now?
bullpen games and stuff like that. Like if they decide to like on a sixth day to throw a fucking reliever out there for an inning and then put Sears in there after that.
Yeah.
Seems like all the
No,
teams are doing that now.
yeah, I think Sears gets a couple starts and then he's in or a guy gets hurt. It's baseball. Guys always get hurt, you know. He's like your filling guy. And then come playoffs, he can ramp it up, man. That guy, he can dial it up, can he?
Sears didn't do jack shit for me today, and that's all I give a fuck about.
Yeah, well,
Padres
Fucking
figure
jackhole.
if Sears
Gave up.
complains, like they can just say, like, "Hey, do you want to go back to the River Cats Stadium or what?" So just shut up,
right.
man. You're in the majors. You're on a
That's
real team.
honestly was my bet on him was like just not being there in that park. And San Diego's got a good pitching coaching staff. So I was like, yeah, Sears could be decent. I mean, I don't got him, but because I think he gets squeezed out of the rotation. But still,
Brandon
that's a
Stott.
good team come the playoffs, man. I could see them giving it a run come October.
Do they possibly go to a six man down the stretch? Considering they have Darvish, they have Cortez coming off injury,
The six
King.
man rotation is a fallacy. Everybody talks about it. It's what a manager says or a GM says when he doesn't want to like play his hand. But usually a guy's hurt or a guy's tired, and they very rarely do it unless they have a stretch of like 10 games in a row or something. But if there's a day off, are you really not going to pitch Dylan Cease, on like 5 days rest?
Right.
And there goes your six-man rotation. You're going to pitch your
Well,
good guy even on like on 4 or 5 days rest. You're not going to be like, oh, can't pitch him because that's why the Dodgers do with their floating like Dustin Mays and other guys. They're like, okay, well when we need you, we'll pitch you, but otherwise we want our studs to pitch regularly.
reason to do it is to offset matching up against your best guy against their best guy. So if you
Yeah,
if you throw a six game in there, all of a sudden your best guy isn't matching up with their number one, and now he's matching up with a number two. And if you do it twice, 2 weeks in a row, now your number one is matching up with your number three, your two is matching up with their four, your three is matching up with their five. Then you start winning games that way. I mean,
yeah.
because
Except your five
you're
is
out
matching up to
them.
their one.
Yeah, but like then you got your 4 and 5 going against their 1 and 2. But how good are your 4 and 5? So it's not those
No, you're I'm
worst
with you.
idea in the world.
No, but no team, no one sticks to it. People go to it, but no one ever sticks to it. Guys get hurt or there's days off, and no, people never do a six man in reality. They talk about it, but it's only because of the schedule. It's only because they have like 18 games in a row or double headers or
Yeah,
something
and
coming up,
usually you only have the 7 game week every 3 weeks. That's about average. You have
Yeah.
2 6 game weeks and a seven. But I was like thinking, like, if you could match up your number one with their number one, would it even make sense mathematically to do it? Maybe you face Scooble and go like, well, let's just lose that one. I don't want to waste our number one on a game that we're going to lose 2-1 or something. I'd rather throw
that's
my
true.
guy. I don't know. I don't know what the
But
right answer is.
but look at like that future Cy Young matchup possibly you were just talking about this week. How'd that one turn out? What was that?
Yeah, like seven
Right?
to four or something.
Right. Like, oh, look at this. These aces, these future Cy Youngs are matching up. It was Scooble versus Skeens
Wheeler.
Wheeler. Yeah, Scooble versus Wheeler, and like, yeah, you just can't. I just don't know if you can do that in minutia. I do think it does help out teams at some points, and some managers are smart about it, and they do kick back up the probability of it. But on a one game matchup, I don't think you know it matters for that one game. over the course of a time, to Jeff, to you speak to your point, I can totally see it helping. Could steal a couple games. I bet you AJ
Yeah.
Hinch does that. I'm sure AJ Hinch like sneaks a few in there.
They probably never tell you that that's why they're doing it, but I would imagine that would that's and if they're not doing it, they should be.
They definitely do it. They definitely hold guys back for when they're in a pennant race. You know, the Braves will hold back. They would hold back Strider in the past to face the Mets when they're like, you know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, he's gonna pitch or Sale. Like, oh, we're gonna save Sale an extra day of rest so he can like, go against the division guys that we're chasing. I think guys still play that too a little bit. I really got to pee, boys. Be right back. Ugh, running on time too.
Yeah, we should probably head out.
So when you come back, we'll wrap it up. It's been almost 3.5 hours.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I love talking baseball with Phil, though. It just seems like it goes by in a matter of minutes.
It's a long one. This is going to be the ones where I have to go to sleep before it converts. It takes forever to convert on my powerful machine.
You better fucking delete all the kid photos.
I better yeah, hopefully I have room. I deleted everything I could, even out of my recycle bin. God, it gave me such a problem last time. I had to delete a browser to
Oh,
free
no
up
way.
space. I don't know why I have so many anyway.
How old is that computer?
just a few years, maybe 5 years. I don't know. Everything's older than I think, but I don't know. 5 years, maybe. It's got it's a 256 kilobyte. I don't know.
Oh, the last game's almost over. We got the ninth inning, top of the ninth inning. St. Louis is beating the Dodgers 3-2.
Good. I always like when the Dodgers are losing.
Dodgers only have 2 hits in the whole game.
Nice.
Freeman got a hit, and I don't know whoever else got a hit's not in the game anymore. It was right, probably Teoscar. Let's see here.
Those are the only two Dodgers I have.
It was Padges. Padges grounded out.
Oh.
Ruiz scored, and then Freeman homered. Those are the only two. Well,
I
that's
have
not really
Freeman
a
in the
hit.
mixed league and Teoscar in the beer league. So those are my only two Dodgers. And I don't think I have any pitchers.
Well, the question lies, why did they take him out? Yeah, he was in the game. He got the only other hit, and then Ruiz went in for him. So maybe he was pinch run for. I don't know. Yeah, because Ruiz scored a run, so they pinch ran for Hernandez. Hopefully, he didn't fuck himself up running down first base.
Who Rui? Who
But that
Rui?
was also in the eighth inning, so I don't think so. I think that was just
What's
making
Ruiz's
sure they
first
got the
name?
run.
I only know Keibert Ruiz. Which Ruiz?
It's E. Ruiz, and bringing him up now.
The story?
It's Story
Oh, okay.
Ruiz. He's 5'10", 169 blazing pounds. Probably faster than the speed of light, like a whippet. In the game, going into the bottom of the ninth.
All right, boys, have a narrow urethra.
Really? So they came out with a lot of force.
No, more like a dick trickle.
Dick Trickle. That guy was a great NASCAR driver.
I haven't gone since before we came on. I went to get ice before. I didn't go pee.
That's yeah. I've been drinking water with my booze, so if you're
Yeah.
just drinking wine or hard alcohol, you don't have to go. But yeah,
And I've got like ice melting at all times in the wine. So I'm drinking like wine water.
yeah. This is I have two stories here, at the rental house here in the Twin Cities. So I gotta run downstairs if I want to have a refill instead of like dashing into the other room. It's a different system.
I thought you were
I
going to
thought you
tell
were
some
going to tell us two
tales.
stories about your rental.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was like, I got two stories.
I got two stories. Yeah,
It's a true story.
I got one. Mostly it's our guy that comes and mows the lawn, David. But I guess this is a public podcast, so I shouldn't say too much. But he stopped me pulling in the other day, and he's like, "Hey, roll down." Because we usually talk and shoot the shit. He's like, "Fourth of July, man. I like ran into a bridge and I cracked my ribs and like my hips all messed up." He always has a crazy story. Every time I see him, he's always just one of his eyes doesn't work. He said he like ran over an like cameraman one time when he was a young kid because his eye didn't work. He accidentally got stabbed in the eye, so he's got like the lazy eye going.
This Chad?
No,
Oh,
could be. Chad's a little more eloquent, a little bit more of a
Yeah,
statesman for
more of a
sure.
swashbuckler.
hmm Yeah, arg. He's an Argonaut.
He reminds me of Escape from New York.
Oh, little Jake's Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken's the name. That's a quality name.
Yeah.
Pliskin.
Escape from Sugar Grove.
Bob
Maple
Pliskin.
Park.
Bob Pliskin works with you in the accounting department, doesn't he? It's not the same if you're not Snake as the first name. You know,
Snake.
you get Snake as a first name, you're pretty cool.
Looks good on the resume.
It's snacky.
I believe there aren't been any baseball players named Snake. Can't think of any.
Well, there was the Cobra.
It's true. There have been Snake ones. There was a okay, here's one. This is my quick Google search. He played for the Pirates, the Philly Athletics, the Orioles, and the New York Highlanders from 1901 to 1903, and he was known as Louis DeWitt Snake Witsy.
Snake Witsy?
Witsy, because his like unusual delivery, like twisted out of shape, and so he got the name. Like he like looked like a snake when he was pitching.
You coil up and
I guess, man. That's like the only other like other than Kenny the Snake Stabler in NFL, but not a lot of snakes. Well,
Snake
boys,
Henry, Snake Deal.
this has been really fun. I don't know if he changed the format. I got to go back and watch the last 2 weeks now, but it seemed a little more conversational. I love the new way the game works. I would like to try it without having a lucky guess to start. But I love that idea of having like clues and then guesses, a little less dead air.
Yeah.
I like that, Jeff. And I like the spreadsheets, but I like talking to you guys more. So it was nice
Yeah,
to
and
like
then
have a little more
like
of that this one.
any player we bring up and talk about, all we have to do is just get their stats up there, and we can all look at them.
Yeah, it was a good flow. But we've done a lot of these, so you guys are pros.
I'm all
I
for
wouldn't say that.
whatever gets more views, and we are leaking viewership. So
As
yeah.
long as we can get up to 5 per week, that's almost half the league.
You know what people do in normal real life. They name drop somebody, and then they're like, "Hey, in this week's podcast, we talk about this, and this," and then they're like, "Oh, they talked about my team. I gotta tune in." Because 3.5 hours in, they started talking about the cows. So, hey, we can get it up from like 2 or 3 a week to 5 pretty easy. Just pick a
The good
team
thing
to
was
pick
we had to
apart.
talk about, this week was like we had the trade deadline between the last one and this one.
Yeah,
You know,
there's a lot to talk about this week.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a good move to not. There wasn't room for that for trade deadline and all the regular stat stuff.
Eh,
right.
I'm willing to throw
But
it all out anyway. We'll just do it
oh,
like
it's
this.
good sometimes. But I think it's like
Well,
um,
16 days left to our trade deadline, so do your thinking.
I thought if I didn't bring up that stuff, then we wouldn't go we wouldn't go as long, but I guess that was
No,
mistaken.
that was your goal.
Well, I just thought like, maybe if I don't
uh,
have these things that are obligatory, maybe it'll go
yeah,
shorter. But no.
Well, it's
no, it's a lot
12:30
for
there.
me. What every couple months, but yeah, for you guys to do this every Monday night, if it goes this long on the regular, that's a big ask. You know, for me to catch up with a couple buddies, you know, once every 2 months on Zoom, that's great. But yeah, for you guys, that's kind of a lot to
The funny
time out
thing
of
is
your life.
we kind of stay on as long as the guest wants to be on a
Yeah.
lot of times. So, and then every once in a while we have to catch ourselves goes, God damn it, I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, I try to always clear the schedule because I'm always looking forward to it. You know, it's fun.
I like it.
Do a little baseball talk, but yeah, sweet. All right, boys. I guess this is C'est la vie. C'est la vida, Zane.
Good luck this week. Your team should now blow up since you're on the podcast, so be ready for it.
Let's hope
And
so. If I'm not making Lancey sweat, then I'm not doing my job.
well, I think walking makes Lansu sweat.
Ooh. Wow.
So Bill, do you think you're gonna 5-peat and break Lance's heart?
I did like a couple months ago, like lay out a plan of like, okay, here's the miracle way I can do this. Uh, I don't think so, but some lucky stuff. I get stuff like 2 weeks ago with like all my hitters going off like that, like crazy, sure, but he's got a lot of innings, man. That's a lot of points. And also, like, I don't know if I make him nervous enough and he fucks up, you know. But this week didn't help for that. He probably feels pretty comfortable this week.
That's
So,
what he texted though. He's like, I'm like screwing up because I'm like choking, and I was like, just do what you were doing, like,
yeah, but you try to put the pressure on. That's all I can do. You can make him sweat, and then, you know, he might make a silly move. I don't know. You guys should take advantage of it. Boy, sweating. Get some deals for next year. I still
No,
keep
you know
pushing the
what,
players to
Mike?
be named later, but you guys don't do it in this league. But players to be named later is a great way to do a deal.
Mike
It'd be
is
like
a
at end
Mike
of
is a
season.
Mike is a gamer, man. He knows what he's doing. He's going to be. I don't think he needs to sweat as much as he kind of is, but you know what? When you're at the top looking down, man, you just want people to just keep getting smaller in the rear view mirror. And
Yeah.
he hasn't made that breakout yet. So I know that's got him probably nervous, but who knows? Next couple weeks, he could be like 7 to 8 games up on the next guy.
Yeah. No, I think he's got it. In fact, I don't even know that I'm a lock for second, but you know, I think it could finish anyway, 2, 3, 4. I think Lance who's got first. I think 2, 3, 4, 5 can shuffle around a little bit. Um, and just depends on how the guys go. It's not that much. Your roster doesn't change that much. It's up to like the
Players.
injuries and their players and hot runs at this point. Who are you going to pick up randomly that's going to, explode? I don't know.
You got
yeah,
to remember too, in that last month, there's going to be a lot of like minor leaguers called up that are going to take fucking playing time away from some of your guys that
yeah,
you
it could
already
screw
had.
up the depth charts. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can pick up a lot of points that way, but as long as the other guy's taking stuff, you know, if Mike gets a promotion at work, that might help.
I think he just got one, didn't he?
Yeah.
You didn't listen the past couple of weeks, but I had mentioned, I think probably both those podcasts, I mentioned that like in a weird way, I'm like nervous to trade with both you and Mike, especially, but like in ways that I wouldn't be for anybody else in the league, because
Has Mike made a trade?
what?
I don't think
No.
Mike's made a trade.
Yeah, I mean, if I trade Mike a guy and the deal makes sense for him this year, and the guy gets hurt the next week, and then he loses the league or something, like I'm going to feel terrible. And if I make a trade with you that makes sense, but it pushes you over the top to beat him, then I don't want to do that either. So it's like I just don't want to do it. Like even though it's not really right, I should just be thinking what makes my team better now and next year, whatever. But I do think about that. I was like, I don't want to disrupt anything. I want to make my moves with like, you
Yeah.
know, the seventh place team. And if
But
it goes
you're
well,
the
he'll finish in
exception.
fifth,
You're the exception, Lou, and I don't know that we could ever. I don't think we could get another trade together, probably. But um, most people are like they just care about their own team, and like if it's gonna help for next year, they'll do the deal. They're like, that's
Right.
cool. It's a
Well,
good.
I mean,
It's a good
yeah,
deal for
I would
me.
do
But
that too, but I would rather not affect what happens with the first and second place teams, kind of.
yeah, no, you're as commish, you like probably feel that. You shouldn't though. You should do what's best for your team.
Right.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't feel bad because you're like you shouldn't pass up a deal. But I don't have a deal to sell you. I've looked a lot of times at Logan
I
Gilbert,
don't
but
think, yeah, I don't think
I
I
got
have
nothing
much
to give
either.
you.
I don't think I have much to do either. I mean, I might not make a trade.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it's a little closer, then auction bucks are in play this time of year. I still like I'd mentioned in past years, like I still think other leagues do this where it's like they name the guy they're going to send you at the end of the year. The player to be named later. It's usually not the same guy, but they're like, I need this guy for the stretch run, and so like I'll send you to him in the off season, right?
I don't
Like,
mind that.
uh,
My
as long
rule,
as there's value for value.
yeah, my rule's always been as long as there's consideration. Like it can't be like you trade me something and you get nothing out of it. That, even legally,
No,
like, that wouldn't
and
even
if
be
you and
that
if you
wouldn't
do
even
that,
be
you
a
should probably overpay. If it was like, okay, I'll send you like this is kind of looks lopsided, but like it's because I get 8 weeks of this guy, and then at the end of the year, you get that other guy who's probably better. You know, like if you trade away Kyle Tucker, and you got like Devers or Harper or something, but you get Tucker at the end of the year.
it's
Some
like
a deal like that.
even in
But
the one contract law course I took, so like Doug's wife would be familiar with this. Like, in order for a contract to be legally binding, there has to be consideration. Both sides have to receive value. So you and I can't enter into a contract where it says, I'm going to wash the windows at D-Men, you know,
right,
every
no, and
week, every
that's
week
written into
for
other stuff
free,
too, like other
or something like that. Well, what do you
things.
get out of it? Nothing. Well, that it's not a legally binding contract. So like as long as
Right,
both sides are receiving something of value, then I think anything's okay. I mean, maybe I'm not anticipating every scenario that could come up, but that's what my view on it would be.
right.
Yeah.
So like, if I promise to give Chad a reach around, that doesn't count.
Yeah, sex
But
can't be included in the
no, no,
in the
no, no. But in the world of that, right? Like, yeah. So
has to
like,
be value within the
if
confines
Dad
of the
wanted to
league.
pass on Kettle Marte or something. But I don't think Kettle Marte, like, what if you got a rental? What if you're like Kettle Marte and then
See
I'll
how
give
he's
it back to you
planting
at the
his seed?
plus $5. I just pulled up your roster for an example because it's more interesting. But like that legality of it, it's like, okay, I want to rent Kettle Marte for 5 auction bucks next year, and you get them back at the end of the year. I don't like those deals. I don't like
Yeah.
the rental return. It needs to be a swap. You can delay part of the swap till the end of the year, but you shouldn't be able to get the same guy back. I don't like that. Seems distasteful to
Well,
me for whatever reason.
but that guy that gave him up and gets him back gets nothing in return.
No,
Yeah.
if you got like 5 auction bucks.
Oh, then in my
Yeah,
mind it would be fine. I mean,
yeah, but it seems gross.
right, right.
It is kind of
I'm with
gross.
you, but it just seems gross. Like
As long as
it's
both
like
sides receive something. But I mean, I guess in that instance, the league could talk about it. I've never put it up to league vote trade. I know some leagues do that.
yeah,
I just said like, collusive trading practices won't be tolerated. So
I just think some people's asses will get sore over that shit. And this
yeah.
is
I'd
a
just rather
friendly
not do
league.
it. It should be something that you're willing to like, but I think it should be okay to be like, hey, I'll give you, like whatever somebody like a Bryce Harper at end of year, somebody who like has value Devers or like a good cheap keeper, for somebody else, like a trade that makes sense, but you kind of like it's an even trade, but you wouldn't want to do it, but you get this guy at the end
if
of the
I
year,
traded
you know.
you Devers for Brian Hayes and 10 auction dollars,
Yeah, it's kind of
that should be a fair deal or something like that.
Yeah, that should be okay.
If
I
part of
think
it
that should
is
be
that
okay.
if part of it is that I get Devers back in the offseason, that just makes it better for me, you know. So
I do think in that case though, I think you should be like I would reach out to like Mike and the other top teams and be like, hey, I got a deal on 10 auction bucks for Devers. You want to go higher? And I would at least float it by him. I wouldn't do that as a quick deal. It just seems like at that point you're bidding him up to highest bidder. Like you know, you see what you can get. I don't know.
but if I traded
Here,
you,
I think this is fantasy baseball. I don't think there should be any delayed compensation. I mean,
Yeah.
a trade straight up.
well,
Don't let.
auction dollars was your contribution
Well, no,
to our
I like
rules.
auction
That's
dollars is
delayed.
fine, but to say like, okay, you're getting 10 auction dollars here, but then you get the player back down the road.
That's
You
just
shouldn't get the
It's
increased
same guy back.
compensation.
You shouldn't get the
huh?
same guy back. But if you get somebody else on that roster, you're like, I'm going
But
to keep
what?
him till the 8 weeks, but you can get him in 2026.
But why not?
That kind
ten
of deal,
dollars and getting Devers back is more than $10 then.
Uh, I
Well,
don't
then
think anything wrong with it. I just
you
wouldn't want
get
to
the
do it as
rights to
gross.
Devers at the end of the season is the way you have to put it. I guess. I
That's
don't
what
know.
I would say. I would say that or something.
It's the same
I don't know.
thing.
It is the same
Um,
thing.
What wouldn't be okay is if I trade you Devers for Brian Hayes, and then I get Devers back at the end of the year. That
what
doesn't
I
make
about
think
any
there's
this?
going to
What
be
sense.
some people fucking crying foul
That doesn't make
unless
any
they
sense
start
because
doing
like
it themselves.
all I did was trade you those 2 months of Hayes instead of Devers, and we can all agree that that's not a good
Yeah.
trade. So
No, it'd be like Dodgers deferred salary or something. Because there's certain guys you're not going to deal, But there's a guy you're like, oh, I don't know. Like you had Alonso the last couple of years, and you're like, hey, it's going to be too rich for me, at the end of the year or something. And you're like, oh,
Let me
I'll
ask you
trade you
this.
Alonso, and then but I'll give you Yandy Diaz at the end of the year, plus 5 auction bucks or something like that.
I think the only time you have to worry about is like if there's like two really solid buddies in the league, closer than they are with anybody else in the league, and and they do a deal. I think we'll be able to smell it if it happens. And it's never happened. I don't think. I mean,
Yeah,
I've
but if it
never had
happens, then you
experience.
got problems.
Yeah, that's for some leagues, it's so hard to make a deal. It's the only way around it. Like some leagues, and NL only league I'm in, that's the only they do it at a decent amount because you can never get your rosters to match up. There'll never be a trade, or it's very hard to get a trade if like somebody's out of it because you're like, well, I need that guy for my stretch run. You're like, you're giving me this other guy, I'm gonna get like one more home run out of him. Like why do I bother? So,
Right. Well, that was
But
Jeff's.
here's the
That
thing
was
though is it's kind of like the NA squad being traded is kind of the player to be named later,
right,
you know?
yeah, it is. We already have it. Yeah.
So we kind of already have it in a sense because we have the minor league system for each one of our teams. As long as you use your 10 slots up, I mean, that is trade capital.
Plus, like going in with the tiered auction buck system already, and if let's say I traded away for like a good starter, 10 auction bucks, man, it would suck next year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
And
be
then
able
you
to
got to
keep
get that
guys.
player
You lose
back.
your whole year gets fucked. You're like, I don't want to do that to myself.
I don't
So I
know
think
Well,
there
how
you
are
much
like,
it screws it up though, because like I waste $10 in the auction like routinely. Like I
yeah.
don't think I think it'd be barely missed to tell you the truth. I don't know.
That's the thing, though. It's the worst thing is to watch him trade it to you and then to watch it just go unspent from your
Yeah, right.
with
right,
your $50 still up.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
even if you spend all your money, like you waste money left and right in the auction. I mean,
Oh,
like even like a week
absolutely.
later.
right. But like, let's say if like yeah, no, I mean, forget it. If a guy goes on the IL, it's a different story. If like Nick Kurtz goes on the IL and I was like a game back and I traded for like, another good, Pete Alonso or something, that would just be a straight trade. So never mind. I was trying to think of a scenario where like you'd be like, it makes sense that you would trade for a player to be named later, but no, it really doesn't. I mean,
Well, the
I'm
auction
fine.
bucks,
I'm not trying to break the precedents. Like
the
if
auction bucks was like Jeff's contribution, and it was great because it's a way to like when you otherwise really can't seal a deal on a deal, you can make it work. Like, well, I don't know. No, I don't know. It doesn't make any. Why would I want to do that? But like, well, I'll give you like, 3 auction bucks. So it's like, oh, I guess so. Like it helps even out when you can't get that perfect fit. So
Right.
Led to fab dollars.
Or if I like traded like Christopher Sanchez for Wheeler, and you get Sanchez at the end of the year plus like 5 auction bucks or something. You know what I mean? I mean that wouldn't happen. Because already has Wheeler, but like that sort of deal where you're like, I'm gonna pick up an extra
I want to say
starter.
yes to that deal, even though I don't have him. I'm going to say
It's,
yes.
because you're like they're pretty much the same, and like my season's done, so I'll just get the $5 for next year.
Yeah.
But that's the sort of deal I'm talking about. Where you're like, I'm just picking up a starter for the stretch run. I send you the 5 auction bucks, and then you'll get my starter that I need for the stretch run. You know, at the end of the year,
I
that kind of
personally
deal.
don't have a problem with that, but maybe Jeff would. I don't know. But
You know. Anyways, I that was a ridiculous digression, boys. I will see you later. You have a great night. We're all tired. You drive safe.
it's already tomorrow here.
Get to your bedroom.
Yeah.
It's already
Make sure
tomorrow.
you
I'll,
don't,
I'll tell you what
Jeff.
happened.
Try not to
He's
fall down
from
on
the
your way
future.
into the bedroom. All right,
I'm
bye, boys.
August 5th. All right.
All right. Well, you
Good
guys
night.
have a good one. Thanks. This was a good one. Well,
Peace, babies. Love you, boys.
see you, man.
All right.
That was long and fun.
No, Jesus Christ. This might be the longest one ever.
Yeah, it was almost 4 hours, dude. We got on another tangent and talked till fucking 11:45.
It's quarter to one here.
I
All right. Should I
enjoyed
stop it?
every bit of it though. Yep, let's stop it. We're done. And yeah,
All right.
until next week.
See you
We
next
don't know
week.
who it's gonna be yet, but it'll be somebody.
All right. Good night, Jeff.
Good night.
Always good.